Chapter 5:35. Bang! With a dull sound, all the spatial restrictions around Ning Cheng turned into nothingness. Ning Cheng looked at his surroundings that had turned into nothingness in surprise. His domain had finally made substantial progress. Obtaining the enlightenment from Lu Pingchuan and Suo Qiaoya, Ning Cheng also integrated his celestial river flame into his domain. The celestial river flame hid within his domain, making it invisible and traceless. As long as the other party could not discover it, he could use his domain to attack. In fact, this wasn't even an attack from a domain. It was just an attack that used a domain to fuse with the star river. In the end, it was still the celestial river flame that was attacking. But no matter what, he had already taken the first step in using his domain. Moreover, after he refined the wishful demon axe that Tang Yu had given him, he was able to transform into several different forms and secretly attack the enemy while they were unprepared. Ning Cheng was also aware that his own strength had once again grown by a large margin compared to a few days ago. As long as he could advance to the celestial Shatterer realm, he felt confident that he could kill Lu Pingchuan. The restriction at the door shook violently. Ning Cheng opened the restriction and saw the rest stop steward standing at the door with an angry face. Seeing Ning Cheng come out, the steward spoke up in a stern voice. "You dare to test spirit techniques and magic skills in our rest stop and even destroy the array formations in our room? I'm really sorry, I will definitely pay attention to it next time." Ning Cheng knew that this matter was entirely his fault. He had chosen the wrong place to go into seclusion for cultivation. "Pay 10 million green coins and leave our rest stop immediately. We do not welcome you here." The steward's tone turned even colder. Ning Cheng also felt helpless and could only compensate the other party with 10 million green coins before walking out of the rest stop. Ruan Mingshu had not come to find him, so he could only find another place to live. Senior apprentice Brother Ning. Ning Cheng had just walked out of the rest stop when he heard Ruan Mingshu's voice. Ning Cheng wanted to see Ruan Mingshu the most right now. He quickly stepped forward and asked, "Junior apprentice Sister Mingshu, did the Time Wilderness open?" "The Time Wilderness will open tomorrow. I came here specifically to say hello to you. Tomorrow, we will go to the Manluan Public Square. Did you come out for something?" Ruan Mingshu also felt strange about Ning Cheng leaving the rest stop. Since the Dao Discussion Convention, Ning Cheng had attracted the attention of many people. Although Tang Yu took away Ning Cheng's fire origin crystal, some people would not think so. They immediately wondered if Ning Cheng had more than one fire origin crystal, or where did Ning Cheng obtain the fire origin crystal. In Ruan Mingshu's view, Ning Cheng should not have left the rest stop before the desolate domain opened. Ning Cheng spoke up with a bitter smile, "I just got kicked out. I was practicing array formations in the rest stop when I accidentally destroyed the rest stop's original array formation. I was fined 10 million green coins and then kicked out. I was just about to look for a place to stay when you came by." Ruan Mingshu showed a smile and spoke, "Then let's go to my residence. In the evening, we can discuss how to cooperate in the Time Wilderness. Also, I have something else to tell you." Ning Cheng knew that the other matter should be related to the perpetual moon pills, so he did not refuse Ruan Mingshu's invitation. He had cooperated with Ruan Mingshu for the sake of obtaining perpetual moon pills. If he was not very familiar with perpetual moon pills before, then now that he had read the pill strips that Tang Yu had given him, his desire for perpetual moon pills grew even stronger. Moreover, he also knew that although perpetual moon pills were very precious in Striking Order Starland, they were not as precious in other starry skies. In the vast universe, some starry skies' perpetual moon pills were just like starry skies' crystals, ordinary and common. If one wanted to enter the vast universe and enter other starry skies, one would have to work hard to improve one's cultivation. Once one's cultivation reached a high level, one could then go to places with more resources to continue cultivating. Within the starry skies, there was a truth that the strong would always grow stronger. Although this truth was not 100% correct, it was 99% correct. Although Ruan Mingshu's room contained a bed, the fact was that Ning Cheng and Ruan Mingshu, with celestial scryer cultivation, could even sit down and discuss the Tao for a month without needing to sleep. "Did you look at the map jade strip I gave you?" After Wan Mingshu activated the restrictions around her room, the first thing she asked was Ning Cheng's jade strip. Ning Cheng nodded. Yes, I have a general understanding of the location. The communication pearls in the Time Wilderness have a very short range and might not even be useful. The map jade strip I gave you might not be as good as the best ones, but it is much better than the map jade strips sold in Lucky Heaven City. On the map jade strip, there is a Moon Creek. This place is actually a dried-up river. If we can't get in touch, we can meet at Moon Creek. Wan Mingshu finished and looked at Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng had indeed seen the Moon Creek. Now that Wan Mingshu said it, he naturally did not have any problems with it. Okay, let's meet at Moon Creek. Wan Mingshu showed a slight smile. Meet or leave, that's a good way to put it. I quite like it. Ning Cheng was thinking about the map he bought at the Revolving Jade City's auction. He had heard that it was also related to the Time Wilderness. According to the cultivator at the time, the map he bought could be found everywhere in the Striking Order Starland and could be bought for 100 green coins. However, he had spent 110 million celestial coins. It was precisely because of this disparity that he had yet to see this map. Now that he thought about Wan Mingshu saying that there were many such maps, did he want to buy an ordinary map and compare it with the map he bought at the auction? Seeing Ning Cheng silent, Wan Mingshu spoke up again. Recently, a person has been looking for cultivators from the Orchid Burrow Celestial River to talk. He also came looking for me. I heard that he was looking for a map. If this person finds you, you won't know anything. You can inadvertently expose that you know Tang Yu. Ning Cheng did not know much about Tang Yu. Now that Wan Mingshu mentioned this name, he quickly asked, Junior Apprentice Sister Mingshu, who is this Tang Yu? Does she have a big background? Wan Mingshu looked at Ning Cheng in surprise and spoke, Tang Yu, you don't know? Her father was Tang Yitong, an eternal-level powerhouse of Striking Order Starry Sky. Even Heavenly Emperor Striking Order treated Tang Yitong politely. Within the Striking Order Starry Skies, no one dared to do anything to her. Otherwise, Lu Pingchuan might not have stopped. Lu Pingchuan was also a person with a great background. He was from the Shangmao Celestial River's Lu clan, which was also a powerful force in the Shangmao Celestial River. By the way, how did you enter the Dao discussion venue? Also, Ma Jian is someone who only knows how to look at the sky from the corner of his eyes. Why would he speak up for you? A friend I just met brought me in. She's a nice person. That Ma Jian should be the person she invited to speak up for me. Ning Cheng spoke ambiguously. In fact, Wan Mingshu had met Shen Qinyu once. However, Ning Cheng believed that Wan Mingshu would not remember this matter. Not waiting for Wan Mingshu to continue asking, Ning Cheng took the initiative to change the topic. Junior Apprentice Sister Mingshu, can you tell me about the Time Wilderness? My knowledge of the Time Wilderness can be said to be a complete blank. Wan Mingshu gave an "n" sound. Senior Apprentice Brother Ning, even if you didn't say it, I would have told you about it. I don't know much about it, but I heard that the Time Wilderness is a fragment of a small law world within the planar void and a starry sky wilderness. Moreover, this fragment is a fragment of the laws of time. A heaven-defying powerhouse had fused this fragment of the laws of time with a starry sky wilderness, forming the Time Wilderness. Does it have an owner? Ning Cheng asked in amazement. Wan Mingshu shook her head and spoke, It used to be, but not anymore. It was said that this powerhouse had built many laws of time worlds in his Time Wilderness and had accumulated many treasures within them. However, before this powerhouse could fully form his own laws of time, he fell in a fight with someone else. Ning Cheng remained silent. He had seen many powerhouses fall. Back in the everlasting Blue Thunder City, which one of those powerhouses was not a tyrannical figure in the entire universe. However, didn't these people turn into a pile of yellow soil within the starry sky? Even a powerhouse like Tsang Wei needed him to save him. Ning Cheng's gaze remained fixed on Wan Mingshu's face, but his thoughts were not in this place at all. Powerhouses who fell could not be considered as powerhouses. Only cultivators who were eternally powerful in this universe could truly become powerhouses. Otherwise, they would just be floating clouds. What's wrong with you, Senior Apprentice Brother Ning? Wan Mingshu saw Ning Cheng's trance and quickly asked. Oh, it's nothing. You can speak. Ning Cheng recovered. Ruan Mingshu knew that Ning Cheng definitely had some secrets, but she did not ask Ning Cheng and continued, later, the Time Wilderness remained within the striking order starry skies. However, the Time Wilderness cannot be entered at any time. It only opens at a specific time. Over the years, countless cultivators have entered the Time Wilderness, but at the same time, countless cultivators have fallen in the Time Wilderness. In the Time Wilderness, the most terrifying thing is time. Sometimes, you might fall into a time vortex, and by the time you break out, you might have already reached the end of your lifespan. Even striking order Heavenly Emperor couldn't enter? Ning Cheng asked. Ruan Mingshu spoke with affirmation, yes, even striking order Heavenly Emperor couldn't enter without meeting the conditions. I heard that the Time Wilderness opens for 10 years, and after entering, there is no way to come out within 10 years. After 10 years, the Time Wilderness will automatically send out the cultivators inside. 10 years? Ning Cheng asked in shock. 10 years to enter a mystic realm, wasn't that too long? Yes, 10 years. In the Time Wilderness, the most precious thing is not the perpetual moon pills, but the time stones. The time stones automatically survive in the Time Wilderness. This kind of thing is extremely precious and contains a trace of the laws of time. Time stones come in all sizes, from the size of a speck of dust to the size of a dragon's eye. I heard that the striking order Starry Skies Time Wilderness experience is based on the number of time stones harvested. Ning Cheng interrupted Ruan Mingshu's words. Junior apprentice Sister Mingshu, according to what you said, the value of the time stones is too high. Even if someone obtained a time stone, how could they take it out? Ruan Mingshu looked at Ning Cheng for a while, before she spoke up one word at a time. Senior apprentice Brother Ning, if you really obtained a time stone in the Time Wilderness, then you must take it out. Otherwise, you would only be courting death. Chapter 5:36. Ruan Mingshu did not explain it in detail, but Ning Cheng also understood what she meant. That is, if one obtained the time stones and did not hand them over, they could still be found out. Unfortunately, his mysterious yellow bead could not store things for a long time. Otherwise, he would have placed the time stone in the mysterious yellow bead. The mysterious yellow bead was a good fortune treasure. If he placed the time stones in the mysterious yellow bead, then no one would be able to find out about it. Why did the mysterious yellow bead have to wait until the 5 elements were complete before it could store things? As Ning Cheng thought until here, he was more and more convinced that there must be a way to put these things in the mysterious yellow bead, at least temporarily. His mysterious yellow bead, in addition to the mysterious yellow origin, now contained 2 other origins, water and fire. Could he use the other 3 origin items to set up a formation and store the items in it? The best origin item was naturally an origin crystal. But a single fire origin crystal was priceless. Where would he find the money to buy the other 3 origin crystals? Besides, even if he had the money, he couldn't buy it, right? Perhaps he didn't need to use origin crystals. Would a 5 elements array formation work? Senior apprentice Brother Ning, you don't have to think too much about the time stones. These things are not common even in the Time Wilderness. It was normal to not get a single one in 10 years. The last time you came to the Dao discussion hall, you only stayed for a day before leaving. However, I heard a lot about it, so we can discuss it. Ruan Mingshu took the initiative to change the topic. She did not think that Ning Cheng would think about how to hide the time stones. Okay. Ning Cheng happily agreed. In any case, Ruan Mingshu's knowledge was much more than his own. Ning Cheng's insights were astonishing, while Ruan Mingshu's foundation was solid. The two of them chatted for the whole night, but unexpectedly felt that it was not enough, and both of them benefited a lot from it. Early the next morning, the restriction over Ruan Mingshu's room was triggered. Ruan Mingshu opened the restriction, and Zhao Yanxiang appeared at the door of the room. Mingshu, the Time Wilderness opens today. Let's go to the Manluan public square. Zhao Yanxiang's words abruptly stopped as he saw Ning Cheng coming out of Ruan Mingshu's room. Did you stay here last night? Zhao Yanxiang's brows immediately wrinkled as he stared at Ning Cheng and asked. Ruan Mingshu was someone he admired. She was his future Dao companion, and he was prepared to go to the universe with her. Now, Another man had walked out of the room of the woman he liked. Regardless of whether he had done anything, this kind of thing made it hard for him to calm down. Ning Qing did not pay any attention to Zhao Yanxiang, regardless of whether the person who tried to harm him last time was Zhao Yanxiang or not. He would sooner or later find this person and ask him about it. Ruan Mingshu seemed to have some sort of relationship with this Zhao Yanxiang, so there was no need for him to talk nonsense now. What's more, Ruan Mingshu's motive for getting close to him wasn't very clear. Ruan Mingshu spoke with a calm expression. Yes, senior apprentice brother Yan Xiang. Yesterday, I was able to chat with senior apprentice brother Ning for the entire night, which benefited me a lot. Zhao Yanxiang's slightly fluctuating emotions suddenly calmed down. He smiled and said, "In that case, let's go to the square together." As the most important public square in the Striking Order Starland, the Striking Order Public Square could not be described as big. There were all kinds of starry sky teleportation arrays here, as well as all kinds of facilities for cultivators. Although the Ning Chung trio arrived early, there were many other cultivators who arrived earlier than them. By the time they arrived, the Striking Order Public Square was already packed with cultivators. With so many experts here, there wasn't much noise or clamor. The cultivators who came here knew very well that this place was a place that Heavenly Emperor Manlun attached great importance to. Once someone caused trouble in this place, only death awaited them. Ruan Mingshu kept a low profile. She brought Ning Cheng and Zhao Yanxiang to a place that was not very conspicuous in the public square. This time, the Celestial Scryer Genius Tryouts of the Striking Order Starry Skies was a major event, which Heavenly Emperor Manlun personally presided over. Although Heavenly Emperor Manlun had not arrived yet, some of the cultivators gathered together and whispered among themselves. However, no one dared to make any noise. Ruan Mingshu and Zhao Yanxiang seemed to be arguing about something, while Ning Qing did not want to participate in such a conversation and took the initiative to walk to the other side. This friend, if I remember correctly, you are also from the Orchid Burrow Celestial River. Your name should be Ning Qing, right? Ning Qing had just stood still when a gentle voice sounded in his ear. Ning Qing looked back and saw a celestial gatherer cultivator with a thin body and 3 conspicuous celestial wheels behind him. This person was obviously a powerhouse with a celestial gatherer cultivation. That's right. Ning Qing gave a simple reply. The celestial gatherer cultivator clapped his hands and spoke. Let's get to know each other. My name is Fu Shoging, and we are both from the Orchid Burrow Celestial River. To tell the truth, it really is amazing that you could escape from the rat tide. Congratulations. I was also on that battleship at that time. If I didn't have a Starry Sky escape talisman, with so many Starry Skies spirit-devouring rats swarming over, I would have already lost my life. Ning Qing showed a faint smile, then congratulations to you. By the way, when I was in the Revolving Jade City, there was an auction that sold a map of the Time Wilderness. Do you know about that auction? Fu Shoging was a very talkative person and instantly found a topic to talk about. Ning Qing immediately became vigilant in his heart. He immediately thought of what Ruan Mingshu had told him before. Someone was looking for the participating cultivators from the Orchid Burrow Celestial River, saying that they were looking for a map. Was it this fellow? Was he looking for the map that he obtained at the auction? Ning Qing replied without hesitation, I really don't know about it. I heard that the Revolving Jade City's auctions often sold maps of the Time Wilderness, but I don't know which one you are talking about. Fu Shoging explained, I know that maps were often put up for auction at that time. In the beginning, a few of them sold for tens of millions of green coins. However, everyone later realized that they were fake, and very few people bought them. I'm not talking about that, but about an auction where a map was sold for 110 million green coins. Do you know about that auction? I don't know. Ning Qing replied without hesitation. You really don't know? These 4 words contained a sharp killing intent. Apparently, it did not come from Fu Shoging, but from behind Ning Qing. Ning Qing calmly turned around and saw a cultivator with 5 celestial wheels staring at him. This cultivator exuded a sharp killing intent, which completely locked down Ning Qing's entire body. Those 4 words were asked by this cultivator just now. From the celestial wheels behind him, Ning Cheng understood that this person was at least an undead cultivator. Ning Cheng's eyes flashed with a chill before he suddenly shouted out, "As a cultivator participating in the Man Luan Starry Skies Celestial Scryer Genius Tryouts and standing on the sacred Man Luan public square, why would someone still want to kill me? Why would someone lock onto me with such a powerful killing intent?" The cultivator with the killing intent apparently did not expect Ning Cheng to dare to shout so loudly in the Man Luan public square, let alone say that someone wanted to kill him. The cultivator's eyes instantly filled with panic. If he knew that Ning Cheng would act like this, even if Ning Cheng slapped him 100 times, he would not dare to do such a thing. "You." The cultivator felt so angry that he could not even speak a word. Ning Cheng stared at the cultivator with a cold gaze and spoke, "A trivial undead ant, yet you dare to threaten me here." A celestial novice cultivator had called the other party a trivial undead ant, yet this undead cultivator did not dare to refute. "Who dares to fight here?" Not waiting for the undead cultivator to speak again, a gray-robed cultivator stood in front of Ning Cheng. "Senior, it's this person. Just now, he revealed a strong killing intent behind me, locked onto me with his killing intent, and even threatened me." Ning Cheng pointed to the undead cultivator who had locked onto him with the killing intent and spoke with cupped fists. This gray-robed cultivator had already reached the heaven-seated realm. Even if Ning Cheng did not say anything, he could feel the killing intent that had yet to dissipate. He raised his hand and slapped the undead cultivator. Before he could even say a word, the gray-robed cultivator slapped him into pieces. "Whoever dares to fight in the Man Luan public square and reveal killing intent, die." After the gray-robed cultivator killed the undead cultivator who threatened Ning Cheng, he spoke out in a cold voice before his figure flashed and disappeared without a trace. Fu Shougang stared at Ning Cheng viciously. He did not think that Ning Cheng would not act according to common sense and directly call out a heaven-seated powerhouse. Ning Cheng did not bother to pay any attention to Fu Shougang and greeted Wan Mingshu, who was rushing over. He was about to enter the Time Wilderness, where he would have to spend 10 years in the Time Wilderness. This fellow, whom he did not even know, revealed his killing intent towards him. Moreover, he could take advantage of the geographical advantage, so it would be strange if he remained polite. "What happened?" Wan Mingshu whispered into Ning Cheng's ear. "Nothing. The Heavenly Emperor is here." Ning Cheng replied. Heavenly Emperor striking order had indeed arrived, but no one knew when he arrived. His appearance this time was completely different from when he appeared at the Dao discussion hall. It was as if he had always been here and had just appeared. "The Heavenly Emperor is eternal." A deafening voice erupted from the public square. Although no one organized it, it sounded very orderly. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor stood on the high altar in the middle of the public square and spoke with a clear voice. "I am very happy today, not only because today is the opening day of the Time Wilderness, but also because 99% of the geniuses in the celestial scryer realm of my Striking Order Starry Skies have come to this place. Maybe in the future, a Heavenly Emperor or even an eternal powerhouse will emerge among you to fight for the honor of my Striking Order Starry Skies. However, no powerhouse can just sit at home. They must go out of the planet, out of the celestial river, out of the starry skies, out of the universe. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor is eternal." A more enthusiastic call rang out. Ning Cheng suddenly felt a strange feeling in his heart. He felt that the worshipful voices coming from the public square would make Striking Order Heavenly Emperor look even taller. It might just be an illusion, but it really did appear in his mind. At this moment, he recalled the power of hope that he had seen before. Was this also a kind of power of hope? Striking Order Heavenly Emperor laughed and spoke up in a loud voice. "Today, I am here to announce that in the future, you will start from the Striking Order Starry Skies, from the Time Wilderness. Although there are not many geniuses who can represent our Striking Order Starry Skies to enter the universe, I still believe that our Striking Order Starry Skies can achieve the honor it deserves. The Time Wilderness will open for 10 years, and the results will be based on the number of time stones you obtain. 10 years will pass in a snap of the fingers. Now, I will bring all the geniuses participating in the Time Wilderness tryouts into the Time Wilderness. Let us meet again in 10 years. The heavenly emperor is eternal. The public square filled with violent shouts of worship. At this moment, it felt as if every cultivator had turned crazy. Chapter 537. Ning Qing initially wanted to purchase an ordinary wilderness map. However, he did not have the opportunity to do so. The cultivators participating in the Time Wilderness smelting trial were about to board the battleship. The Time Wilderness was not located in the Striking Order Starland, nor could it establish a transfer array. As such, one would have to rely on a battleship to reach it. The battleship carried the hundreds of thousands of cultivators who entered the Time Wilderness for the trial. After passing through the Striking Order Starland, it only took half a day before it stopped outside the starry skies. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness had already detected that the space in this place was extremely unstable. No wonder there was no way to establish a transfer array. A ripple-shaped entrance appeared in front of the battleship. Ning Cheng did not need to guess to know that this entrance should be the entrance to the Time Wilderness. Heavenly Emperor Man Luan attached great importance to this trial. Not only did he personally lead the team here, but he also specifically reminded everyone at the entrance, "Geniuses of my Man Luan's starry skies, the entrance to the Time Wilderness will only remain open for 72 hours. If you lose this opportunity, you would not know when the next time the Time Wilderness opens would be. 10 years later, a temporary plaza would be built here. As long as the geniuses were able to come out, they would appear in this temporary starry plaza. Now, let's hurry up and enter the desolate region. I wish all the participating geniuses a lucky return." Striking Order Immortal, Heavenly Emperor Eternal. The participating cultivators shouted out in excitement. The battleship's restrictive spell was opened, and many cultivators jumped into it. Like dumplings falling into a pot, they disappeared. Senior Apprentice Brother Ning, let's also go in. Yuan Mingshu, who was standing beside Ning Cheng, spoke up in a low voice. Okay, Junior Apprentice Sister Mingshu, do you have an ordinary map of the Time Wilderness? Ning Cheng asked with a slight hope in his heart. Yes, you didn't even buy this? Although somewhat surprised, Yuan Mingshu still took out a map jade strip and handed it to Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng was overjoyed as he took the jade strip and said, "Many thanks." Yuan Mingshu smiled and flew into the entrance of the waste domain. Zhao Yanxiang glanced at Ning Cheng and quietly hid away the killing intent at the corner of his eyes before following Yuan Mingshu into the Time Wilderness. Ning Cheng saw Tang Yu but did not see Shen Qinyu. Ning Cheng knew that Shen Qinyu's appearance was constantly changing. As such, there was a possibility that she was right next to him. He did not continue to use his spiritual consciousness to sweep around, and followed behind the many cultivators into the desolate domain's entrance. An enormous whirlpool swept away Ning Cheng. At this moment Ning Cheng could not even think, as everything in his mind turned blank. Not knowing how much time had passed, Ning Cheng's feet finally came to a stop. Even with his powerful middle-stage celestial novice cultivation, he could not help but stagger. Ning Cheng felt as if he was standing in the middle of a life vortex that was gradually disappearing. His life seemed to be fading away, while his heart was filled with panic and fear. Ning Cheng calmed his mind and stabilized his thoughts. Perhaps anyone who felt that their life was slipping away would also experience this state, right? The surroundings were barren. There was no light, no water, no life, no spirit grass. There was only an indescribable color. It seemed to be gray, but also seemed to have a trace of a very strange color. This is the color of time. Ning Cheng couldn't help but think of such a thought. Time had no color, but he felt that this was the color of time. Taking a deep breath, Ning Cheng quickly left the place. Hundreds of thousands of people entered the Time Wilderness, yet he did not even see a single person. From this, it could be seen that this Time Wilderness was definitely not small. Not only that, even with his starry sky sea of consciousness, his spiritual consciousness could only sweep out within a radius of 100 miles. A day later, Ning Cheng stopped in the middle of a withered, thorny forest. This place finally had a little bit of color, at least it was a lot brighter. There were also a lot of plants here, although all of these plants were dead. Finding a secluded place in the thorns forest, Ning Cheng took out 3 maps. Two of the maps were given to him by Ruan Mingshu. One was the map of the Ruan clan, while the other was a map that could be bought on the streets of the Striking Order Starland. As for the third map, Ning Cheng had spent 110 million green coins at the auction to purchase it as a spendthrift. Ning Cheng compared the two maps given to him by Ruan Mingshu and found that they were indeed very different. Although these two maps were jade strip maps, the Ruan clan's map not only marked more places, but also more than twice the size of the two maps. Carefully looking at the map he had bought at the auction, he found that it was not a jade strip map, but a leather scroll made from unknown materials. The things marked on the leather scroll were almost the same as the ordinary jade strip maps, but the graphics were a bit rougher. Ning Cheng couldn't help but shake his head. He would not get angry over 100 million green coins. Among the many people at the auction, he was the only one who ended up being cheated. This was simply bullying him for not knowing the ropes. Just when Ning Cheng was about to put away the leather scroll map, he suddenly noticed a bright spot on the leather scroll. Ning Cheng felt sure that this bright spot was not there when he took it out, which made him stop his action of putting away the map. However, Ning Cheng soon discovered that this bright spot was actually a directional indicator, pointing in a fixed direction. Was this really a different map? Ning Cheng felt pleasantly surprised in his heart. He guessed that the map in his hand was most likely the same one that Fu Shogun was looking for. Ning Cheng knew that his cultivation was still a bit lacking. He had originally planned to find a place to go into seclusion for a while to see if he could improve his cultivation before going out to look for Ruan Mingshu. But now that he found this map with a directional indicator, Ning Cheng immediately gave up on his seclusion. No matter who left this map or where it pointed to, he had to go and take a look. Ning Cheng did not know how big this time wilderness was, but even after following this directional indicator for a few days, he did not meet a single person. Apart from the desolate surroundings, it was still desolate. No wonder it was called the wilderness. After walking around the time wilderness for a few days, compared to when he first came in, Ning Cheng had already grown accustomed to the fear of his life slipping away. On the 12th day, Ning Cheng stopped at a dry well. It was strange to see a well in the time wilderness. After all, a well was something that could only be seen in the mortal world. What made it even more strange was that this well was very shallow. Even without using his spiritual consciousness, with the help of the grayish light around him, he could see the bottom of the well with his eyes. Apart from a few rocks and some broken soil, there was nothing else inside. Ning Cheng opened the leather scroll map and compared it to the one in front of him. Sure enough, the bright spot on the leather scroll map pointed to the bottom of the well. He carefully searched the bottom of the well with his spiritual consciousness, but found nothing. Ning Cheng did not believe that anyone would be so bored as to make such a map to play tricks on others. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng put away the map and jumped into the well. After falling into the well, Ning Cheng knew that something was wrong. This well, whether using his spiritual consciousness or his eyes, did not exceed 3 meters. However, after he jumped in, the well seemed to have turned into a bottomless pit, causing him to sink deeper and deeper. Moreover, the speed of his descent was also getting faster and faster. Ning Cheng felt horrified in his heart. If this continued, wouldn't he end up falling to his death? However, even if Ning Cheng desperately tried to circulate his celestial essence, it was useless. His falling speed still kept increasing. Horrified, Ning Cheng crazily stimulated the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. To Ning Cheng's relief, although the twin wings of the heavenly clouds did not stop his falling figure, it did not increase his speed. In fact, it even started to slow down slowly. Just when Ning Cheng wanted to speed up the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, his legs gave out a crisp, kacha sound. At this moment he fell to the bottom of the well. Ning Cheng took in a deep breath. Fortunately, he had the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. Fortunately, he was a body-forging god. Otherwise, he would have ended up as a starry sky cultivator. Not caring about his broken legs, Ning Cheng immediately swept out with his spiritual consciousness. He found that he was surrounded by all kinds of skeletons. Because of the airflow fluctuations caused by his fall, these seemingly safe and sound skeletons instantly turned into flying ash. When he looked up again, where could he see the mouth of the well? Even his spiritual consciousness could not find the mouth of the well. Ning Cheng sucked in a breath of cold air. What the hell was this place? The surrounding rich starry sky essence chi made Ning Cheng feel slightly relieved. At least in this place, there would not be any problems for him to cultivate. As long as he could cultivate with the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, he would eventually be able to climb up. Ning Cheng did not expect that just after entering the time wilderness, he would fall into such a terrifying dry well. For Ning Cheng, breaking both of his legs was not a very serious injury. Under the operation of his celestial essence, it only took him half an incense stick worth of time to fully recover from his injuries. Ning Cheng stood up and walked around the bottom of the well. The bottom of the well was not very big, only about 3 feet in radius. Some of the fallen cultivators' skeletons were scattered all over the place, and with just a single step, these skeletons would turn into flying ash. As for the storage rings, Ning Cheng did not see any of them. After wandering around for half a day, Ning Cheng found a hidden array entrance in a corner. The array entrance was not complicated, and Ning Cheng easily opened the array entrance and walked in. It was a small stone house with a praying mat in the middle of the stone house. Other than that, there was nothing else. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness tried to grab it but could not pick up the praying mat. What kind of praying mat was this? Ning Cheng walked up to the praying mat with some doubts, bent down and grabbed it with his hand again. An extremely rich starry sky's essence chi instantly filled his entire body, and the comfortable feeling made the feeling of his life slipping away disappear without a trace. Good stuff, Ning Cheng felt pleasantly surprised. Since his cultivation advanced to the celestial novice realm, he had not felt this way for a long time. If he cultivated on this praying mat, his cultivation would definitely rise by leaps and bounds. His cultivation progressed slowly, which made Ning Cheng deeply feel the difficulty of survival. Now that there was such a good place to cultivate, how could he miss it? After using his spiritual consciousness to check that the praying mat did not have any problems, Ning Cheng did not hesitate to operate the mysterious yellow formless and start cultivating on the praying mat. The rich starry sky essence chi almost turned into a solid substance as it poured out from the praying mat and completely surrounded Ning Cheng. Chapter 5:38. With such rich starry sky essence chi, Ning Cheng did not feel even the slightest hindrance in absorbing it. Ning Cheng did not know how long it had been since he cultivated in such a carefree manner. What his mysterious yellow formless lacked the most was resources that could satisfy his cultivation needs, and this kind of cultivation environment was a kind of resource. Ning Cheng's meridians started to expand and toughen under the crazy absorption, while the intensity of his celestial essence also started to grow slowly. At the same time, Ning Cheng's cultivation also started to crazily improve with every passing moment. It was extremely rare for bottlenecks to appear in the mysterious yellow formless, but now that Ning Cheng was crazily absorbing the spiritual energy, he could not even see any bottlenecks. Advancing from middle-stage celestial novice realm to late-stage celestial novice realm was like water flowing into a canal. Even after Ning Cheng advanced from late-stage celestial novice realm to full-circle celestial novice realm, he still did not stop cultivating. Bang! A dull sound came from outside, causing Ning Cheng to wake up as he suddenly opened his eyes. He didn't know how long he had been cultivating here, but to him, it was as simple as an instant. Checking his cultivation, he found that it had already reached the full circle of the celestial novice realm. This kind of cultivation was simply too pleasurable. Since he had reached the full circle of the celestial novice realm, he should have already gone out to face the tribulation to advance to the celestial shatterer realm. When he truly advanced to the celestial shatterer realm, if he met that Lu Pingchuan again, he would not have to fear him, unless that fellow desperately advanced to the celestial bridge realm. However, Ning Cheng had heard that it was extremely difficult to advance from the celestial scryer realm to the celestial bridge realm. Besides, Ning Cheng believed that Lu Pingchuan would not be in a hurry to advance to the celestial bridge realm. This fellow also planned to represent the striking order starry skies in the tournament, so why would he be in a hurry to advance to the celestial bridge realm? Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept out to the outside of the house and found a celestial shatterer cultivator who had just fallen out of the well. The sound a moment ago was the sound of his landing. This cultivator clearly did not have as good of a luck as Ning Cheng. Not only did his corporeal body collapse, even his essence spirit swayed within the well in a daze. Before the primordial spirit could make a choice, a black hand suddenly appeared and grabbed the primordial spirit. Ning Cheng couldn't help but shudder. He did not even notice where this black hand had come from. Moreover, when he had landed before, he also did not see this black hand. Hurry up and leave, this is not a place to stay for long. Ning Cheng was just about to stand up when he felt an even more violent starry sky essence chi rushing towards him. He could only continue operating the mysterious yellow formless. Ka. His meridians broke and reformed one after another, while his Zifu crazily expanded. Even his starry sky's sea of consciousness started to become active. No, this is not right. This is a sign of advancement. Ning Cheng was greatly shocked in his heart. He hadn't even gone out to face the tribulation, so how did he advance? He had heard that each of the 3 stages of nirvana was a process of nirvana. Therefore, it was not strange for the meridians to reorganize. However, advancing to the celestial shatter realm without thunder tribulation really made no sense. However, the facts did not allow Ning Cheng to continue thinking about it. At this moment, he could only desperately operate the mysterious yellow formless and crazily absorb the rich starry sky essence chi coming from under the praying mat. The mysterious yellow formless, with the help of the mysterious yellow origin, was indeed incomparably formidable. Even the broken meridians in his body started to reform, making them even more tenacious. The starry sky's sea of consciousness expanded once again, and Ning Cheng could even feel a trace of starry sky's aura within the starry skies within his sea of consciousness. His powerful spiritual sense swept out once more, and his surroundings became even clearer. Sure enough, after advancing to the early stage celestial shatter realm, not only did his celestial essence increase exponentially, but even his starry sky's sea of consciousness had reached a new level. Ning Cheng stood up. He felt that this place was very strange. What bothered him the most was that he did not experience any thunder tribulation when he advanced to the celestial shatterer realm. Moreover, he also felt that the starry sky essence chi on the praying mat below him had decreased by a lot. If he continued to cultivate in this place, the effects would be greatly reduced. However, he did not let go of this praying mat and grabbed it again. What made Ning Cheng pleasantly surprised was that this time he was able to easily pick up the praying mat. After putting away the praying mat, Ning Cheng immediately felt that the starry sky's essence chi around him had returned to normal. Sure enough, it was all because of this praying mat. Young man, not only did you use my treasure for cultivation, but you also took away my treasure. Isn't this a bit too much? How can you be so excessive? You have to know that this cultivation treasure is something that I will have to use in the future. Although it is the same whether you take it or not, but when I want to use it, I will have to take it out from you. A sudden voice arrived. At the beginning, it sounded like an expert, but at the end, it turned into a long-winded voice. Ning Cheng immediately brought out his nirvana spear, while thinking about who was this person. Ning Cheng guessed that this voice belonged to the black hand from before. That black hand had grabbed the essence spirit of a cultivator who had just fallen to his death. However, it did not touch him. Since this praying mat is yours, I will leave it to you. Now that I have to leave, please remove the restrictions around this well. Ning Cheng spoke in a calm tone. That black hand did not grab him. It definitely was not because he was special. Maybe it was because he had a corporeal body, and this black hand could not do anything to him. Young man, you are too impatient. You can cultivate until you reach the celestial gatherer realm, and then I can go out. Wouldn't that be great? This way, you can save time and also have 2 big advantages. The voice came again. What do you mean? Ning Cheng interrupted the long-winded voice with a calm tone, while carefully using his spiritual consciousness to protect his body. The voice gave a smile. Someone came here again. It must be the time wilderness opening again. I am just a essence spirit. What are you so nervous about? Originally, I could have used this time to devour some essence spirits to strengthen myself. At the same time, you could also use the essence gathering praying mat to cultivate. By the time you reached the celestial gatherer realm, my essence spirit would also have grown a lot stronger. At that time, wouldn't it be perfect for us to merge into one? So you wanted to take over my body. Did you put out that map? Ning Cheng had already found the source of the voice, which was the stone wall of the house he was in. Ha! Although the voice was laughing, its voice was very sharp. Young man, what map? Don't say it in such a bad way. How can you say that you want to take over my body? This is fusion. Fusion, do you understand? What I find strange is that even after advancing to the celestial shatterer realm, you still don't have a celestial wheel. After the voice spoke about celestial wheels, it completely faded away. Ning Cheng felt a stabbing pain in his sea of consciousness, and a vague shadow with a face appeared in his sea of consciousness. This shadow was not a human figure, but a vague bull-headed shadow. Ning Cheng felt shocked in his heart. A beast wanted to take over his body. What surprised him even more was that he did not have the time to prevent the bull-headed essence spirit from entering his sea of consciousness. What a powerful method. Essence spirit, come, let me eat another one. After this vague bull-headed shadow spoke those words, a black hand formed in Ning Cheng's sea of consciousness and raised it to grab at him. Ning Cheng felt his sea of consciousness turning black, as if his entire soul wanted to leave him. I must not let this bastard take over my body. Ning Cheng bit the tip of his tongue and blasted out the everlasting blue thunder city. Countless lightning bolts struck the bull-headed shadow with a vague face, followed by a shrill scream. Who are you? You can even bring out a weapon in your sea of consciousness. What kind of weapon is this? No, what is this sea of consciousness? Why does it look like a starry sky? Ning Cheng did not care about the screams of the bull-headed shadow with a vague face. This was not the first time someone tried to take over his body. Moreover, he was the least afraid of others trying to take over his body. If he had been more careful and stretched out his celestial river fusion domain, this bull-headed shadow would not have been able to enter his sea of consciousness. Pitter-patter. The lightning arcs bombarded the bull-headed shadow with a vague face. The bull-headed shadow continued to scream, and its figure grew more and more blurry. I'm going to swallow you. This bull-headed shadow with a vague face no longer had the calmness from before. Instead, it crazily tried to devour Ning Cheng's essence spirit. Celestial River, come for me. Ning Cheng did not show even half a shred of politeness towards this thing that wanted to take over his body. He once again brought out the celestial river flame. The vague essence spirit could not hold on under the attacks of the everlasting blue thunder city. Facing the horrifying celestial river flame, it instantly issued a tearing cry. Let me out, I was wrong, let me go. The bull-headed essence spirit screamed sharply in Ning Cheng's starry sky sea of consciousness. However, its screams were getting softer and softer. The everlasting blue thunder city had already beaten it to the point that it wanted to die. Coupled with the burning of the celestial river flame, it turned even more dispirited. Ning Cheng raised his hand and grasped. The next moment, the vague essence spirit within his sea of consciousness fell into his hand. Big brother, senior. Spare me. Just let me go like a fart. I will never dare to try to take over your body again. The dispirited bull-headed essence spirit held in Ning Cheng's hand and screamed miserably. Where was the slightest bit of the old man's appearance from before? Am I old? Ning Cheng did not want to kill this essence spirit. He originally wanted to ask this essence spirit some questions, but he did not expect this bull-headed essence spirit to turn out to be such a top-grade item. The bull-headed essence spirit quickly spoke up. No, you are handsome, elegant, young and promising, the first in the starry sky, unparalleled in the universe. So, Ning Cheng felt goosebumps all over his body as he called out to the bull-headed essence spirit to stop. He had made a mistake. This essence spirit was not a top-grade item, but a skit. When the bull-headed essence spirit heard the word, stop, it immediately stopped speaking. In Ning Cheng's view, it was even more powerful than the most powerful breaks. How much do you know about the time wilderness? Let me see if you have any value in existence. Ning Cheng stared at the bull-headed essence spirit and spoke with a sneer. The bull-headed essence spirit quickly spoke up again. I know a lot. I have value in existence, I have a lot of value in existence. Less nonsense, hurry up and speak. Ning Cheng squeezed the essence spirit's shadow, which was almost half dead due to the celestial river flame. The bull-headed essence spirit quickly spoke up, I know about the echo waterfall, I also know about the Sea of Twilight, I also know a lot. Do you know about the perpetual moon lake? Ning Cheng's heart moved. I know, I absolutely know. My master took me there before, so I definitely know about the perpetual moon lake. As long as you spare my life, I promise to take you to the perpetual moon lake. The bull-headed life essence spoke up in a hurry, using many words to describe it. From the looks of it, this bull-headed essence spirit still had a lot of value. Ning Cheng really did not want to kill this essence spirit at this moment. I don't want to kill you, but you are just a essence spirit, how can you follow me? When Ning Cheng heard this bull-headed essence spirit speak about his master, he guessed that this bull-headed essence spirit must have been brought in by a cultivator. The bull-headed essence spirit looked at Ning Cheng and spoke up, my master left behind a big ring here. As long as you let me go, I will immediately take it out. This ring has everything inside it. In addition, I had been staying in the praying mat before. You don't have any room to bargain, hurry up and take it. Ning Cheng raised his hand and pulled out a trace of the bull-headed essence spirit before throwing it out. If he wanted to give the praying mat to this bull-headed essence spirit, then don't even think about it. Yes, I'll go get it right away. The bull-headed essence spirit spoke up in an incomparably flattering tone. Chapter 539. An hour later, Ning Cheng finally figured out what was going on. The space within the ring that Ox had found was indeed huge. Moreover, its level was also far higher than Ning Cheng's pocket world. It was almost at the level of a high-grade Dao artifact. It could even accommodate one's essence spirit. However, the things inside did not arouse Ning Cheng's interest. Apart from a high-grade Dao artifact, there were only some empty jade boxes and some worthless ordinary rings. The bull-headed primordial spirit would usually hide inside the praying mat. Whenever a cultivator descended, the bull-headed primordial spirit would devour the cultivator's primordial spirits to cultivate itself. Therefore, it had no idea how many good things were inside the ring. The bull-headed life essence turned out to be a wind-seeking longevity bull. Hearing this name, Ning Cheng almost laughed out loud. It was no wonder that this fellow had lived to this day. His name was Longevity Ox. Its master had fallen in the Sea of Twilight. The life essence of the wind-seeking longevity bull had taken its master's ring and escaped into this dry well. Since then, it had never come out. As for the way the wind-seeking longevity bull spoke, it was because before it was caught, it wanted to imitate its fallen master and pretend to be an expert. After being caught by Ning Cheng, he completely forgot his directions and only knew how to beg for mercy. How long have I been cultivating here? Ning Cheng bluntly took out the ring that the wind-seeking longevity bull had taken out and put it on his hand before asking. He intended to use this ring for himself. The wind-seeking longevity bull did not dare to express even half a word of dissatisfaction and carefully replied, It's been more than 2 years. Master, you started cultivating as soon as you came in and advanced to the celestial Shatterer realm. I'm not your master. Don't mistake me for someone else. I'll return your primordial spirit to you. You can continue to stay here and devour your life essence. I'm leaving. Ning Cheng pulled out a trace of his life essence and threw it towards the wind-seeking longevity bull. Apart from its longevity, this cow did not have much use. Although it knew a few places, it could not say anything about it. Although it said that it knew about the perpetual moon lake, it was only because its former owner had pointed it in a certain direction. In order to save his life, this bull had no bottom line in his words. Although Ning Cheng did not want to kill this long-winded wind-seeking longevity bull, but he also did not want to bring it along with him. Master, please take me away. I've been in this black well for who knows how many years. Even primordial spirits can only eat a few times, so I'm still very useful. My name is Wind-Chasing Longevity Ox. Not only do I live for a long time, but I am also very fast. When I recover my physical body in the future, I will definitely be of great help to Master. The wind-seeking longevity bull spoke up in a pitiful voice. If Ning Cheng took away its praying mat, then how could it stay in this place? Ning Cheng hesitated for a long time before speaking. I can take you away, but if you dare to have even half a shred of disloyalty, I will help you restore your corporeal body. The wind-chasing longevity bull was startled. You have ulterior motives, yet you are helping me restore my body? But no matter how disloyal I am, I have no way to deal with your incomparably terrifying sea of consciousness. Ning Cheng looked at the wind-seeking longevity bull and sneered, Then I will stew you whole, add some shallots, and slowly eat the whole pot of beef soup. The wind-seeking longevity bull shivered and quickly said, I have no disloyalty, I definitely have no disloyalty. I am loyal and devoted, my loyalty is unparalleled. Shut up. Ning Cheng stopped the wind-seeking longevity bull and spoke, I'll call you Little Chase from now on. If you perform well in the time wilderness, I will take you out and restore your corporeal body. As for whether it will turn into beef soup or not, it will depend on your performance. The wind-seeking longevity bull shivered a few more times and did not dare to continue talking. Ning Cheng threw the essence spirit of the wind-seeking longevity bull into the essence-gathering praying mat, and then threw the praying mat into his ring before activating the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. When he first fell down, it did not take him long. But now that he wanted to fly up, even if he advanced to the celestial Shatterer realm, it would still take a lot of effort. Ning Cheng did not know what this well contained, but the powerful suction force had forced Ning Cheng to spend half a month before he finally rushed out. The first thing Ning Cheng did after rushing out of the well was to head to Moon Creek. He and Ruan Mingshu had made an appointment to go to Moon Creek. Now that more than 2 years had passed, he did not know if Ruan Mingshu was still in Moon Creek or not. Moon Creek was not a stream. According to Ruan Mingshu, it was just a dried-up river. In fact, it was not even a dried-up river. After Ning Cheng arrived here, he felt that this place could only be regarded as a basin. After Ning Cheng advanced to the celestial Shatterer realm, although he still did not have a celestial wheel, his spiritual consciousness had soared, allowing him to sweep out within a radius of 200 to 300 miles. However, he could not find Ruan Mingshu's shadow around, nor did he find any marks left by Ruan Mingshu. Ruan Mingshu hadn't come here yet? Ning Cheng felt a little puzzled. He did not come here in time, not because he failed to keep his appointment, but because he was trapped at the bottom of the well. But for what reason did Ruan Mingshu not come here in time? The celestial river essence chi in this dried-up river was only average, so Ning Cheng decided to wait here for a while. The main reason was that he had not yet stabilized his celestial shatter cultivation. He had just advanced to the celestial Shatterer realm when Little Chase, that stupid bull, woke him up. Instead of looking for a place to stabilize his cultivation, it was better to stay in Moon Creek and wait for Ruan Mingshu while stabilizing his cultivation. 2 months passed by in a flash, and Ning Cheng's cultivation stabilized at the early-stage celestial Shatterer realm. During this period, Ruan Mingshu did not come here. Ning Cheng started to think about leaving this place and looking for the perpetual Moon Lake alone. Ruan Mingshu had not come for a few months, so he could not just wait here, right? Maybe Ruan Mingshu had come here, but did not wait for him and left. Besides, although that stupid bull boasted a bit, Ning Cheng could still make out the approximate location of the perpetual Moon Lake. Just at this moment, a figure dashed over to this side. Ning Cheng immediately stopped the idea of going out. This was the first time he had seen another cultivator since entering the time wilderness. This figure quickly arrived at the dried-up river of Moon Creek, and Ning Cheng could clearly see that it was Ruan Mingshu. After more than 2 years, Ruan Mingshu's aura had grown much stronger than before. From this, it showed that Ning Cheng was not the only one who had a fortuitous encounter in the time wilderness. Not waiting for Ning Cheng to come out, another figure quickly arrived. This figure, just as Ning Cheng had guessed, was Zhao Yanxiang. Mingshu, why didn't you listen to me and came to this place? Zhao Yanxiang landed in front of Ruan Mingshu and spoke with a slight complaint. His aura had also grown a bit stronger than before. Over the past 2 years in the time wilderness, he had made a lot of progress. I promised senior apprentice brother Ning Cheng that I would wait for him here. Ruan Mingshu replied calmly. Zhao Yinxiang suddenly stepped forward and pulled Ruan Mingshu's hand. Mingshu, it's been so long, who knows if Ning Qing is still alive or not. Since he offended Lu Pingchuan, he would never let this person go. Besides, I don't believe that the two of us can't enter the perpetual moon lake. After saying that, Zhao Yanxiang exerted some force and pulled Ruan Mingshu into his arms. Ruan Mingshu turned around and pushed Zhao Yanxiang away. Senior apprentice brother Yanxiang, I don't like it. Well, if you don't like it, then I won't do it. Then can we go to the perpetual moon lake first? Zhao Yanxiang simply let go of Ruan Mingshu. I said that I would wait for senior apprentice brother Ning. Ruan Mingshu frowned. Don't we need a cultivator with a powerful spiritual consciousness for a blood sacrifice? Can't we just sneak attack a cultivator and take him to the perpetual moon lake for a blood sacrifice? Zhao Yanxiang suddenly spoke with some dissatisfaction. Ruan Mingshu stared at Zhao Yanxiang in amazement. You know about the blood sacrifice? Of course I know. Zhao Yanxiang replied, but he sneered in his heart. If not for Ning Cheng's blood sacrifice, how could he tolerate Ruan Mingshu staying in Ningcheng for the night? Seeing Ruan Mingshu's expression changing, Zhao Yanxiang once again stepped forward and hugged Ruan Mingshu before opening his mouth to kiss her. Ruan Mingshu's face turned angry as she pushed Zhao Yanxiang away and spoke. Senior apprentice brother Yanxiang, you just said that if I don't like it, you wouldn't do it. Zhao Yanxiang did not know if it was because of Ning Cheng, but he finally felt some anger. Junior apprentice sister Mingshu, you can sleep with Ning Cheng, but I can't kiss you? Who exactly is your Dao companion? Ruan Mingshu's angry face suddenly calmed down. She looked at Zhao Yanxiang and spoke with a calm voice. Senior apprentice brother Zhao, you are not my Dao companion. Please don't misunderstand your priorities. We are just cooperating. I sleep with Ning Cheng because I like sleeping with him. You have no right to interfere in my affairs. Zhao Yanxiang's face stiffened, and he spoke up in a slow tone. Mingshu, my words just now were a bit heavy. I care too much about you, so my words were a bit heavy. Please don't take it to heart. A junior apprentice sister Mingshu, I didn't expect that I would come at the right time. Did I keep you waiting? Ning Cheng's laughter interrupted Zhao Yanxiang's words. Ruan Mingshu, on seeing Ning Cheng, immediately showed a surprised expression on her face. Then she remembered something, and her expression changed again. Senior apprentice brother Ning, I just arrived. Did you just arrive here? Yes, I just arrived here. Oh, junior apprentice brother Zhao is also here. That's for the best. Let's go together. Ning Cheng seemed to have just seen Zhao Yanxiang and added a sentence in surprise. He did not know that Zhao Yanxiang's cultivation and age were much higher than his. Zhao Yanxiang gave a few dry laughs. Okay, let's go together. Ruan Mingshu led the way, and the three of them headed towards the perpetual moon lake together. However, none of the three people spoke, as if each had their own thoughts. Senior apprentice brother Ning, did you really just arrive at Moon Creek? After running for a few days, Ruan Mingshu finally could not help but take the initiative to ask. Ning Cheng replied in doubt. Yes, did I keep you waiting for a long time? No, how could that be? After I came in, I found a celestial essence spring and cultivated for more than a year. I'm afraid that you might have waited for a long time and felt a little anxious. By the way, over the past 2 years, did senior apprentice brother Ning find anything good in the time wilderness? Ruan Mingshu gave a dry reply. My luck has always been good, so I found a few celestial essence springs and cultivated for more than a year. Although I have yet to cultivate a celestial wheel, I feel that I have made a lot of progress. Ning Cheng gave a smile. Zhao Yanxiang, on seeing Ning Cheng and Ruan Mingshu talking, felt as if he had become an outsider, quickly took the initiative to speak up. Mingshu, how far is the perpetual moon lake? Very far. Ruan Mingshu replied with an expressionless face before turning silent again. Boom. A violent explosion once again broke the silence. Ruan Mingshu stopped and looked at the place where the violent explosion came from before frowning and speaking. That's in the direction of the perpetual moon lake. Chapter 540. Zhao Yanxiang was the first to speed up and quickly disappeared from Ning Cheng and Ruan Mingshu's sight. Ruan Mingshu did not follow Zhao Yanxiang. Instead, she bowed to Ning Cheng and spoke, "Senior apprentice brother Ning, I'm sorry. I deceived you. My father wanted to cooperate with you because you don't have a celestial wheel and have a powerful spiritual consciousness. He wanted to use you as a blood sacrifice to enter the Perpetual Moon Lake and open the Perpetual Moon Fort." Ning Cheng spoke up in a calm voice, "If that's the case, why did you tell me? When I arrived, you and your companions could use me as a blood sacrifice. Wouldn't that solve the problem?" Ruan Mingshu took in a deep breath and slowly spoke, "I can't do it. I might not be suitable for the starry skies. If I really did it, I would never forgive myself for the rest of my life. You told me to meet you at Moon Creek, but I ended up cultivating in a place for 2 years. You waited for me for 2 years." Raising her hand to stop Ning Cheng's explanation, Ruan Mingshu continued, "You don't have to say anything. I arrived at Moon Creek at the same time you arrived. There is no such coincidence in this world. I know that you have been waiting in Moon Creek. The Time Wilderness is full of opportunities, but you hid in the barren Moon Creek for 2 years. I'm sorry for the 4 words meet you or leave." Ning Cheng, who originally wanted to explain, suddenly lost the desire to explain. Ruan Mingshu's words indicated that their cooperation had ended here. Since it ended here, they would only have an ordinary relationship when they met in the future. There was no need for such nonsense. Besides, he had personally heard Ruan Mingshu say that she wanted to use him as a blood sacrifice. "It looks like my luck is good and I managed to escape this disaster." Ning Cheng showed a faint smile. He had planned to wait for Zhao Yanxiang and Ruan Mingshu to use him as a blood sacrifice, and then use a sneak attack to put the 2 of them in as a blood sacrifice. Ning Cheng did not expect that Ruan Mingshu would confess everything in the Perpetual Moon Lake. Ruan Mingshu's face turned pale. "Whether you believe it or not, whether you really waited in Moon Creek for 2 years or not, whether you heard the conversation between me and Zhao Yanxiang, I will not use you as a blood sacrifice. It's up to you whether you believe it or not. There is an ancient desolate fort at the bottom of the Perpetual Moon Lake called the Perpetual Moon Fort. To open this fort, you must use a cultivator without a celestial wheel as a blood sacrifice. The cultivator's spiritual consciousness, the better. The better." After entering the Perpetual Moon Fort, Ning Cheng found a Perpetual Moon Pill Pond. Although the pill pond contained perpetual moon pills, it also contained a Pill King pill. This medicinal pill was called the Celestial River Essence Chi King pill, a medicinal pill that could allow a Heaven's Mandate cultivator to advance to the heaven-seated realm. Its effects are even better than the filth-severing Cloudy Sky pill, as it doesn't have any impurities. "Did your father ask you to obtain this Celestial River Essence Chi King pill?" Ning Cheng suddenly understood. Ruan Mingshu's father, Ruan Qingzhong, wanted to advance to the heaven-seated realm. As such, he needed this kind of pill. Ruan Mingshu nodded. "Yes, in addition to the Celestial River Essence Chi King pill, I also want a key. This key is called the Perpetual Moon Time Key. Maybe in the Perpetual Moon Castle, this key is the real priceless treasure." "Why are you telling me this?" Ning Cheng stared at Ruan Mingshu and asked. Ruan Mingshu looked at the distant Perpetual Moon Lake and spoke up. "My father thought that he was the only one who knew about the secrets of the Perpetual Moon Lake, but now there are too many people who know about the secrets of the Perpetual Moon Lake. With my cultivation, wanting to snatch these things is undoubtedly a pipe dream. I'm leaving." After saying that, Ruan Mingshu sped up and rushed towards the Perpetual Moon Lake. "Wait, I still owe you a Grade 4 Celestial River Array Disc," Ning Cheng called out. Since they had nothing to do with each other, since he owed her a Grade 4 Celestial River Array Disc, he might as well give her some green coins. Ruan Mingshu did not answer, and her figure completely disappeared from the center of the Perpetual Moon Lake. Ning Cheng understood that Ruan Mingshu meant to forget about it. Regardless of whether Ruan Mingshu wanted to forget about it or not, Ning Cheng did not want to miss out on the Perpetual Moon pills in the Perpetual Moon Lake. The Perpetual Moon Lake was indeed a huge lake, but it was also a dry lake. There was no water in the lake, only some traces of cracks. There was a huge black hole in the center of the lake, with a slanted staircase extending out from the depths of this black hole. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness could clearly see many cultivators inside the black hole. The explosion just now must have originated from this black hole. Zhao Yanxiang and Ran Mingshu were no longer outside. Apparently, they had entered the lake. Ning Cheng also followed the slanted staircase into the black hole. More specifically, he arrived at a small public square paved with blue stones. At this time, there were already hundreds of people in the public square. Ning Cheng's arrival did not attract anyone's attention, as everyone was staring at the front. Ran Mingshu and Zhao Yanxiang stood among the crowd. At the end of the bluestone public square, there was a simple castle gate with ripples rotating rapidly in the middle of the gate. A faint bloody smell oozed out from the rotating ripples. Ning Cheng understood that someone must have died as a blood sacrifice. Another cultivator without a celestial wheel. Let's push another person in, wouldn't it be faster? Finally, a cultivator discovered Ning Cheng and immediately called out. Not waiting for the others to look at Ning Cheng, Ran Mingshu's sneering voice arrived. The blood sacrifice can only be performed by one person at most. If there are more, not only would the blood sacrifice fail, but it would also collapse. Ran Mingshu's voice had just fallen when the rapidly rotating castle gate opened with a bang, and a rich starry sky essence chi seeped out from it. Just like the soft color of the moonlight, a huge hall appeared in front of everyone, with a huge pool in front of them. The pool was in the middle of the hall, and inside the pool were pills the size of a dragon's eye, stacked on top of each other, giving off a soft feeling. Perpetual moon pills. A scream erupted, and almost at the same time, everyone rushed inside in a frenzy. Were these perpetual moon pills? Ning Cheng felt shocked in his heart. He could feel the benefits of this medicinal pill with his spiritual consciousness. If used for cultivation, it would definitely be much better than any starry sky essence chi or starry sky crystals. Poof poof. Several blood spattered out, and the few cultivators who had just rushed to the side of the perpetual moon pill pond fell from the sky. There's a killing array here. If you want to obtain the perpetual moon pills, you must first break the killing array. A cultivator took the lead and shouted out, while simultaneously bringing out a weapon. Many cultivators brought out their weapons. At this time, everyone could not wait to blow up the killing array and snatch the perpetual moon pills. Ning Cheng was squeezed at the back, but he did not rush up. There were more than 100 people here. No matter how these people tried to snatch it, once the perpetual moon pill pond collapsed, he would at least be able to grab some of the perpetual moon pills. Boom, boom, boom. Countless weapons bombarded the array formation outside the perpetual moon pill pond, triggering bursts of essence chi fluctuations. The killing array outside the perpetual moon pill pond was a natural killing array formed automatically over a long period of time because there were too many perpetual moon pills. Moreover, this killing array did not have a high grade before it fully formed. With so many cultivators attacking at the same time, the killing array quickly collapsed. With the entire perpetual moon pill pond exposed in front of everyone's eyes, at this time, who could snatch it? Why would Ning Cheng care about hiding? Activating the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, Ning Cheng was the first to rush into the perpetual moon pill pond. With a sweep of his spiritual consciousness, he managed to snatch away 1/10 of the perpetual moon pills in the entire pill pond. This pill pond was just too big, and the medicinal pills were separated into pieces. Even with Ning Cheng's powerful spiritual consciousness, he could only snatch away 1/10 of them at a time. Ning Cheng, a cultivator without a celestial wheel, was the first to rush into the perpetual moon pill pond to snatch the perpetual moon pills, which instantly aroused the anger of others. However, at this moment, no one could care about Ning Cheng. Everyone was focused on snatching the perpetual moon pills. Ning Cheng pushed his powerful spiritual consciousness to the extreme, causing his spiritual consciousness to sweep around crazily. By the time the perpetual moon pill pond emptied of perpetual moon pills, Ning Cheng had already snatched away about 40% of the perpetual moon pills. Kill him. After snatching the perpetual moon pills, all the cultivators rushed towards Ning Cheng. This was also the reason why no one cared about Ning Cheng snatching a large number of perpetual moon pills. All the cultivators knew that no matter how much Ning Cheng snatched, he would not be able to escape. Dozens of weapons shot towards Ning Cheng, and the place where Ning Cheng stood instantly transformed into a celestial essence vortex. With so many weapons shooting towards him, it had already locked down the area where he stood using celestial essence. When Ning Cheng snatched 40% of the perpetual moon pills, he realized that he had become the target of public criticism. Almost at the same time when so many weapons shot towards him, Ning Cheng stimulated the twin wings of the heavenly clouds and rushed towards the steps leading to the outside. Bang! A strong resistance pushed Ning Cheng back. Ning Cheng's heart sank. He did not think that someone would have arranged an entrapment formation at the exit in advance. From this, he understood that someone had already planned to catch them all in one fell swoop. He was just unlucky to be the first to escape and ended up being stopped. Boom! Because Ning Cheng had used the twin wings of the heavenly clouds to escape, the weapons attacking Ning Cheng all ended up hitting a corner of the perpetual moon pill pond. This time, the perpetual moon pill pond trembled and shook. It felt as if the perpetual moon pill pond would collapse in the next moment. However, at this time, no one paid any attention to the perpetual moon pill pond. All the people had once again surrounded Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng quickly spoke up. Someone used an array formation to seal off the way out. This means that we all have to stay in here. If you continue to attack me, you will end up being killed by someone else. Boom boom boom. More than a dozen weapons still shot towards Ning Cheng. Some even shouted out that Ning Cheng had the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. Ning Cheng once again stimulated the twin wings of the heavenly clouds and dodged from a distance. The space in this place was already very small. If Ning Cheng did not have the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, he would not have been able to escape. However, Ning Cheng's words seemed to have worked. Some of the cultivators who had obtained a lot of perpetual moon pills gave up on attacking Ning Cheng and instead wanted to get out. As a result, just as Ning Cheng said, the exit had been sealed. The exit really has been sealed. A cultivator shouted out. His shout immediately caused the cultivators who were still chasing after Ning Cheng to stop. Another violent roar sounded out, and the perpetual moon pill pond, which had been trembling due to the bombardment, suddenly collapsed completely. A pale golden pill the size of an egg was pushed out of the pond and rushed towards the top of the hall. It's the Celestial River Essence Qi King Pill. With the appearance of the Celestial River Essence Qi King Pill, almost everyone forgot about the sealed exit and forgot about chasing after Ning Cheng. At this time, the cultivators here only had one purpose: to snatch the Celestial River Essence Qi King Pill. Chapter 541. Ning Cheng did not try to snatch the Celestial River Essence Qi King Pill. One reason was that he knew that even if he managed to snatch this King Pill, he would still face a siege. Another reason was that he did not need this King Pill right now. With so many perpetual moon pills in hand, the first thing he wanted to do was to find a place to cultivate. Want to leave? I've been waiting for you for a long time. Ning Cheng was just about to break the array formation sealing the entrance when a sharp voice arrived in his ears. The moment he heard the voice, a black light appeared in front of him without any warning. Ning Cheng's domain stretched out in an instant, and the black light immediately slowed down under Ning Cheng's domain. Ning Cheng's domain won him the blink of an eye, allowing Ning Cheng to bring out his Nirvana spear and blow away the black light. What a powerful domain! The sharp voice exclaimed, and the violent celestial essence once again stirred up the surrounding space. Ning Cheng had just seen the appearance of the cultivator who sneaked up on him when he heard a violent explosion, and everything in front of him turned gray. The cultivator who sneaked up on him did not continue to attack Ning Cheng. Instead, he grabbed an array disc, and his figure flashed before disappearing from Ning Cheng's sight. What was the problem? This fellow actually gave up on sneaking up on him and escaped first. He even took away his array disc. Didn't this mean that he did not want to stop the cultivators inside? Ning Cheng had just thought of this when he felt like he was surrounded by time. His life flowed away like a river without a dam. Who broke the perpetual moon fort's time wheel? Hurry up or we'll all die. A shout rang out, and then a ray of light rushed out from Ning Cheng's side. The reason why Ning Cheng did not rush out immediately was that the moment he felt his life slipping away, his spiritual consciousness saw a half-foot-long key. It was a dark gray key, suspended above the broken perpetual moon pill lake and slowly becoming clearer. If not for his powerful spiritual consciousness, he would not have been able to see this key at all. This was the perpetual moon time key. Yuan Mingshu said that the most precious thing in the perpetual moon fort was the perpetual moon time key. Ning Qing did not even think about it, and with a wave of the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, he flashed past. At this moment, all the cultivators rushed out of the perpetual moon fort, except for Ning Qing. Some of the cultivators had white hair before they could even reach the entrance. There were even some cultivators whose lifespans ran out midway, falling from the sky and dying on the spot. The moment Ning Qing grabbed the perpetual moon time key, his hair started to turn white. Not waiting for him to wield the twin wings of the heavenly clouds again, the terrifying flow of time completely surrounded him. At this moment, Ning Qing knew that if he continued to rush out, he would also die of old age in this short stretch of road. Ning Qing did not hesitate and immediately entered the mysterious yellow bead. No matter how terrifying the flow of time was, it could not penetrate into Ning Qing's mysterious yellow bead. Ning Qing's spiritual consciousness swept out and found that his hair had turned gray, causing him to feel horrified in his heart. The laws of time were simply too terrifying. How long had it been? He had already consumed so much of his lifespan. Desperately trying to obtain this perpetual moon time key, was it worth it? Ning Qing had just entered the mysterious yellow bead when the bottom of the perpetual moon lake collapsed, causing endless explosions to erupt in the center of the perpetual moon lake. The entire perpetual moon lake, under the terrifying explosion, turned into dust. Dozens of cultivators who managed to escape from the bottom of the perpetual moon lake stood by the lakeside and looked at the perpetual moon lake that had completely disappeared. Everyone knew that the cultivators who had not come out were finished. Even if they were not taken away by the terrifying flow of time, the explosions at the bottom of the perpetual moon lake would definitely turn them into ashes. This kind of explosion was mixed with the laws of time. Not to mention a celestial scryer cultivator. Even if a celestial river cultivator came, what could they do? Yuan Mingshu stood by the lakeside and stared at the disappearing perpetual moon lake. She did not expect that Ning Qing would end up dying in the perpetual moon lake. Junior apprentice Sister Mingshu, let's go. Zhao Yanxiang came over and interrupted Yuan Mingshu's thoughts. Yuan Mingshu glanced at Zhao Yanxiang and spoke with a faint voice. Senior apprentice brother Zhao, the cooperation is over. We no longer have anything to do with each other. Let's go our separate ways, not together. That Ning Qing was too greedy and ended up being taken away by the flow of time. It was something that couldn't be helped. Don't think too much about it. After all, you don't owe him anything. Zhao Yanxiang felt comfortable about Ning Qing dying in the perpetual moon fort. He had only lost some of his lifespan, and the perpetual moon pills he obtained could easily make up for the lost cultivation. Yuan Mingshu spoke up calmly, whether senior apprentice brother Ning died or not, it has nothing to do with us. Senior apprentice brother Zhao, if you don't want others to know about it, then don't do it yourself. You provoked Lu Xiao to attack Ning Qing. I'm not the only one who knows about it. After Yuan Mingshu finished, she instantly changed directions and left the perpetual moon lake. Seeing the explosions at the center of the perpetual moon lake gradually subsiding, several cultivators who were unwilling to leave wanted to go and take a look. However, before they could reach the center of the lake, the terrifying flow of time once again swept away a part of their lifespan. These cultivators immediately fled, and in just a short time, not a single person could be seen at the edge of the perpetual moon lake. As Ning Qing's spiritual consciousness swept out, he immediately knew that something had happened to the perpetual moon fort. With the violent explosions raging around, he could not get out at all. What's more, even without these explosions, he could not get out. The terrifying flow of time would take away his lifespan in an instant. Ning Qing looked at the perpetual moon time key in his hand. It was a half-foot-long key with a variety of restrictions engraved all over it. Despite looking at it for a long time, Ning Qing could not see anything. Putting the key into his ring, Ning Qing arranged a 5 elements array formation around him. His mysterious yellow bead's origin was not complete, As such, anything that entered the mysterious yellow bead would turn into nothingness after a long time. The 5 elements array formation would also turn into nothingness. However, the things inside the 5 elements array formation did not have much of an impact. Initially, Ning Cheng thought that the flow of time outside would soon dissipate. But after observing it for a few days, Ning Cheng realized that the flow of time outside would not disappear so quickly. Although the explosions outside due to the compression of time had indeed disappeared, the flow of time remained the same. As soon as his spiritual consciousness swept out, it immediately disappeared without a trace. Under this terrifying flow of time, not to mention people, even spiritual consciousness could not survive. This rapid flow of time made Ning Cheng afraid to go out. He feared that once he went out, he would immediately be taken away by the flow of time. At this time, Ning Cheng could only stay inside the mysterious yellow bead and continue to arrange his 5 elements array formation. 10 days passed by, 1 month passed by, 3 months passed by. Ning Cheng slowly calmed down from his anxiety. Instead of waiting anxiously, it was better to arrange the 5 elements array formation and study the Tao of Array's jade strip given to him by Tang Yu. Another 3 months passed by, and Ning Cheng's Tao of Arrays advanced from a Grade 1 Celestial Array Master to a Grade 2 Celestial Array Master. However, the flow of time outside still did not stop. Ning Cheng began to carefully control the movement of the mysterious yellow bead. He believed that under this terrifying flow of time, it was absolutely impossible for any cultivators to come here. Even their spiritual consciousness would not be able to sweep in. As long as no cultivators came here, his mysterious yellow bead would not be exposed. To control the movement of the mysterious yellow bead, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness had to constantly permeate out. Under this flow of time, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness would disappear the moment it went out. Initially, Ning Cheng, in order to protect himself, was very careful when he permeated out his spiritual consciousness. However, in the end, Ning Cheng completely ignored this caution and continued to permeate out his spiritual consciousness. At this point, he no longer wanted to control the mysterious yellow bead. Instead, under the rapid passage of time, he touched upon a law that could not be expressed in words. Ning Cheng suppressed the ecstasy in his heart. He felt sure that this was a feeling brought about by the passage of time. He knew that even eternal-level experts might not be able to comprehend the laws of time. Moreover, the laws of time were far stronger than ordinary laws. He had never expected himself to comprehend the laws of time. But now that he could touch the surface of this law, he felt very satisfied. Even if his spiritual consciousness was consumed, even if his lifespan was reduced, this touch would bring him immeasurable benefits in the future. Not knowing for how long, Ning Cheng's perception came to an abrupt halt. His spiritual consciousness fell outside the mysterious yellow bead and no longer felt the flow of time. Ning Cheng's eyes showed extreme disappointment. He knew that this was not because he had comprehended the laws of time, but because the flow of time outside had finally stopped. Ning Cheng came out of the mysterious yellow bead and swept out with his spiritual consciousness to the surrounding ruins. This place seemed like an ordinary place, and he was just buried in this ordinary ground. The perpetual moon fort had disappeared, and the perpetual moon lake had disappeared. He had no idea where the celestial river essence Qi King pill went, or perhaps someone had taken it away. This was not a place to stay for a long time. He had to leave as soon as possible. Ning Cheng had just thought of this when his spiritual consciousness stopped once again. His spiritual consciousness once again found something that allowed him to touch upon time. It was not a kind of passage of time, but a kind of stone. 3 dark gray stones appeared in the range of his spiritual consciousness, not far from him. Ning Cheng immediately rushed over and grabbed the 3 stones in his hand. The feeling of the passage of time, or perhaps the vicissitudes of life, once again touched him. These must be time stones. Ning Cheng's heart started to beat wildly. He quickly took out 3 empty jade boxes and put the 3 time stones inside. Time stones were extremely precious. Ning Cheng had entered the time wilderness for 3 years, but this was the first time he saw a time stone. After Ning Cheng put away the 3-time stones, his spiritual consciousness once again started searching around. To his regret, his luck seemed to have run out, as he could not find a single time stone in this place. Since the passage of time had disappeared, sooner or later, someone would find this place. Ning Cheng came out of the ground and quickly rushed out, quickly disappearing from the outside of the perpetual moon lake. Half a month later, Ning Cheng stopped in a barren gravel field. He put on the middle-grade Dao artifact mask and once again transformed into a bearded Starry Skies wanderer. The original Ning Cheng had already died in the perpetual moon fort. Even if he wanted to appear again, he would need to change his identity, otherwise, it would bring him endless troubles. After changing his appearance, Ning Cheng was about to dig an immortal cave and try out the effects of the perpetual moon pill when his spiritual consciousness unexpectedly found Shen Qinyu. However, Shen Qinyu's situation was obviously not good. She was lying on a stone, gasping for breath, while her body was covered in blood. Chapter 542. He and Shen Qinyu had an agreement, and Shen Qinyu had invited him to help her in this place. However, he had not received any message from Shen Qinyu. Ning Cheng did not expect to see this woman again, but found her injured. Just when Ning Cheng hesitated to go over, his spiritual consciousness swept over a man and a woman. The two of them also suffered some minor injuries, however, from the looks of it, they seemed to be chasing after Shen Qinyu. Shen Qinyu lay on the stone for a moment before rushing over to Ning Cheng's side. Ning Cheng had to come out of the thistles forest. Shen Qinyu had helped him a few times in the past, so helping her today was not a big deal. However, he felt a little strange in his heart. Shen Qinyu's strength was not low, and she even had a talisman that could force back celestial bridge cultivators. So how could she escape from 2 celestial gatherer cultivators? Ning Cheng's sudden appearance in front of her made Shen Qinyu stop. By the time she found out that Ning Cheng was not the one blocking her, the man and woman had already caught up to her. The man and woman only glanced at Ning Cheng before focusing their attention on Shen Qinyu. Apparently, the two of them did not put Ning Cheng in their eyes. Ning Cheng was a cultivator with white hair and a face filled with vicissitudes of life, without even a single celestial wheel. With just a glance, one could tell that he was a rogue cultivator who had lived a miserable life. Such a person, they could kill him with just a raise of their hand. "Can you go kill that ant? I'll keep an eye on that woman. She can't escape." The long-haired woman glanced at Ning Cheng and did not hesitate to sentence Ning Cheng to death. "Okay." The male cultivator responded, and a red ring appeared suspended over his head. Shen Qinyu suddenly shouted, "Stop, this matter has nothing to do with others." After saying that, Shen Qinyu turned to Ning Cheng and spoke, "You can leave. This has nothing to do with you." "Can you even leave?" The male cultivator's triangular eyes narrowed, and the red ring over his head turned into thousands of ring shadows that covered Ning Cheng. As these thousands of ring shadows descended, the surrounding space turned completely red, and a powerful binding force enveloped Ning Cheng, making it difficult to breathe. If replaced by Ning Cheng, who had just advanced to the celestial novice realm, he would have desperately torn apart this red ring space and tried to find a way to escape. However, after experiencing many battles, Ning Cheng had long since understood that this was only a means to support one's domain. Compared to his celestial river domain, it was far inferior. Ning Cheng opened his hand and brought out the Nirvana spear. At the same time, a powerful celestial river domain erupted from it. The celestial river domain immediately blocked off the space created by the red ring created by the male cultivator's red ring, and an invisible "Catcha" sound rang out. Everyone around could hear it clearly. This was an obvious domain suppression. At this moment, how could this male cultivator not know that Ning Cheng was an expert? In a panic, he raised his hands and shot out dozens of talismans. Such a rich guy, Ning Cheng himself had also used talismans against his enemies. He knew that the person who used so many talismans against the enemy was either a rich guy or a talisman grandmaster. Although Ning Cheng had not refined any talismans after advancing to the celestial scryer realm, he had a good understanding of talismans. Although the attacks from these talismans looked terrifying, the truth was that these talismans were not high-grade goods. The best way was to bring out the everlasting Blue Thunder City and then shoot out with the Nirvana Spear. It's just that the everlasting Blue Thunder Fort had a lot to do with it. Therefore, Ning Cheng didn't bring out the everlasting Blue Thunder Fort. Instead, he once again stimulated his Celestial River Domain. The Celestial River Domain transformed from a flat surface to a three-dimensional one without any gaps. Compared to Ning Cheng's domain, the male cultivator's domain was not just a level lower. Therefore, when Ning Cheng fully stimulated his domain to attack, the raging celestial river flames within the domain could no longer be hidden. When the flames and the dozen talismans collided, they immediately exploded. Boom, boom, boom. The explosions of the talismans, the burning of the flames, and the horrifying temperature turned the entire area into a sea of fire. Ning Cheng brought out the Nirvana Spear and drew out a mysterious spear line along with a hint of thunder before shooting out. The triangular-eyed male cultivator felt shocked when he saw Ning Cheng's celestial river domain blocking his endless talismans. However, before he could bring out a weapon to attack Ning Cheng again, Ning Cheng's Nirvana Spear had already arrived in front of him. Even when his red ring domain was completely suppressed by Ning Cheng's celestial river domain, he could not stop the terrifying spear intent of this spear. Catcha! The celestial essence shield in front of the triangular-eyed male cultivator, under Ning Cheng's Nirvana Spear intent, shattered like a piece of paper. The male cultivator only had enough time to move his head a little, but he still could not stop Ning Cheng's Nirvana Spear from piercing through his head. "You clan will not let you go." The male cultivator screamed out before Ning Cheng's spear exploded and killed him. Ning Cheng felt very satisfied with his series of attacks. First, he used his celestial river domain to completely suppress the opponent's domain. Even the opponent's talismans were suppressed by the celestial river domain. Then he used his Nirvana Spear to kill the opponent. After the continuous battles, the Tao discussion convention, and his own secluded cultivation, Ning Cheng's attacks finally had an embryonic form. If this male cultivator, whom he killed, knew that he had not even used his full strength, Ning Cheng could not imagine what he would think. In fact, Ning Cheng knew that he had not even brought out half of his strength. Not to mention that he had not even used his two killing moves, the nothingness flame pattern spear and traceless. He had not even brought out the wishful demon axe, let alone the everlasting Blue Thunder City. At this moment, Ning Cheng felt an urgent need to fight Lu Pingchuan. He wanted to use his celestial shatter cultivation to kill this self-righteous genius. Ugh. The female cultivator staring at Shen Qinyu also reacted. She screamed and suddenly brought out an escape talisman. In just a blink of an eye, she disappeared without a trace. Ning Cheng looked at the fluctuating space in front of him and thought to himself, this man and woman have so many talismans. Shen Qinyu also felt shocked at Ning Cheng's strength. A cultivator without a celestial wheel, at most a celestial novice cultivator, how could he be so terrifying? She immediately thought of Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng also did not have a celestial wheel. However, Ning Cheng was not as powerful as this rogue cultivator named Wanderer. It was just that her injuries were too severe at this moment, and she could only lie down on the ground and gasp for breath. "Are you okay?" Ning Cheng walked up to Shen Qinyu and asked. Shen Qinyu did not answer Ning Cheng's question. Instead, she looked at Ning Cheng and spoke, "I know who you are." Ning Cheng felt surprised in his heart. He did not reveal even half a shred of his aura. How did Shen Qinyu recognize him? If Shen Qinyu could recognize him, didn't it mean that others could also recognize him? "You are called Wanderer, and had once stayed in the celestial forest arena of the revolving Jade City for a while. Unfortunately, I had something to do at that time and could not go and watch your fight. Thank you for saving me. My name is Shen Qinyu." Shen Qinyu spoke after a few gasps. Ning Cheng felt slightly relieved in his heart. He thought that Shen Qinyu had really recognized him. In fact, if not for Shen Qinyu's broken meridians, which prevented her from releasing out her spiritual consciousness, as well as the celestial river flame in Ning Cheng's domain, Shen Qinyu would have already recognized Ning Cheng. "That's right, I am indeed that starry skies wanderer. If you have nothing else to say, then I will take my leave. Ningqing had a lot of things to take care of right now. He needed some time to go into seclusion. Shen Qinyu quickly spoke up, "Wait, I need your help. My meridians are broken, I need to find a place to heal." Ningqing felt shocked in his heart. Broken meridians. This was not a minor injury. Even if he had the mysterious yellow origin which could repair his meridians, this kind of injury was still a serious injury for him, not to mention Shen Qinyu. Seeing that Shen Qinyu wanted to continue speaking, Ningqing knew that she wanted to talk about the remuneration. Ningqing waved his hand and spoke, "I'll take you to a place to heal. We can talk about it later." "Thank you." Shen Qinyu did not refuse Ningqing's help. She knew that she had no other choice. If this wanderer in front of her wanted to harm her in the slightest, she would not be able to refuse him. Ningqing stepped forward and picked up Shen Qinyu. Unfolding his body, he quickly left. Shen Qinyu, on seeing that Ningqing had only supported her back and legs, felt slightly relaxed in her heart. At the same time, she also felt very grateful towards Ningqing. If Ningqing wanted to carry her on his back or hug her, she would not have any way to refuse. Ningqing obviously took into account her identity as a female cultivator. At this moment, Shen Qinyu secretly rejoiced in her heart. Fortunately, she had a mask-type weapon. A day later, Ningqing brought Shen Qinyu to a barren hill and dug out a small immortal cave in it. The immortal cave had 2 cultivation rooms, one for him and one for Shen Qinyu. Shen Qinyu's meridians were currently broken. If she had to recover in this place alone, it would definitely be dangerous for her. "You are a different kind of starry skies wanderer." Shen Qinyu sat on the bed that Ningqing had brought out and spoke up once again with gratitude. Because starry skies wanderers were always on the verge of death, it resulted in most starry skies wanderers having a perverse and irritable temperament. However, Ningqing not only saved her, but also took her to a quiet place to heal. This showed that he was indeed a different kind of starry skies wanderer. Ningqing showed a slight smile and spoke, "I'm going into seclusion here for a while. If you need my help, you can call me." "Thank you. After you go out, be careful of the Yu clan." Shen Qinyu, on seeing Ningqing not asking anything, felt even more favorable towards Ningqing. Ningqing quickly asked, "Was that triangular-eyed fellow I killed from the Yu clan? What are their origins? Why should I be careful of the Yu clan?" Shen Qinyu spoke up slowly. The Yu clan is a very famous talisman family within the striking order Starry Skies. The Yu clan's talismans are very famous. One can even say that all the powerful talismans within the striking order Starry Skies originate from the Yu clan. Moreover, in addition to talismans, the Yu clan also possesses amazing strength. They even have a Starry Skies cultivator in the Heaven's Mandate realm. The planet they live on is called the Dai Yuan star, and the celestial lord of this planet is a member of the Yu clan. The male cultivator you killed before is called Yu Yifeng, and the woman who escaped is called Yu Wan. The 2 of them are cousins and are also husband and wife. The Yu clan believes that their bloodline is the purest and rarely intermarry with people with other surnames. As long as this woman can get out of here alive, the Yu clan will definitely put you on the wanted list. Because of the powerful contribution of the Yu clan in the field of talismans, even Heavenly Emperor Striking Order looks at the Yu clan in a different light. If the Yu clan puts you on the wanted list, no one would care about it. Ningqing did not take Shen Qinyu's words to heart. Besides, after coming out of the time wilderness, Ningqing planned to leave the Striking Order Starry Skies and explore the vast world. If he wanted to return to the place he wanted to go, even if it was not too far away, he had to go further. Ningqing was very clear about this truth and understood it very well. Chapter 543. Ningqing did not cultivate. Although he obtained a lot of perpetual moon pills, he did not want to cultivate with Shen Qinyu. Perpetual moon pills contained pure starry sky essence qi. Therefore, once he used perpetual moon pills for cultivation, he felt sure that Shen Qinyu would be able to detect it. For the past 2 months, Ningqing had been studying array formations. He had been constantly arranging 5-element array formations in the mysterious yellow bead, with only one purpose, to store the time stones. If he hadn't seen the time stone, then it would have been fine. But now that Ning Cheng saw the time stone and obtained it, how could he not know that this thing was many times more precious than the fire origin crystals? Only a fool would take out such a good thing and hand it over to Striking Order Heavenly Emperor. In the future, Ning Cheng also hoped to use the time stone in his hand to pry into the mysteries of the laws of time. 2 months later, after Ning Cheng became a Grade 3 Celestial Array Master, he did not continue to study array formations. For him, it was time to find a place to go into secluded cultivation. With so many perpetual moon pills, he estimated that his cultivation should be able to rise to another level. Have you recovered? Ning Cheng opened the restrictions covering the immortal cave and looked at Shen Qinyu, who had already come out of the immortal cave, in surprise. Meridians ruptured. It was definitely a serious injury. However, Shen Qinyu managed to recover so easily. From this, one could tell that Shen Qinyu had a powerful trump card. Shen Qinyu nodded and spoke. I have indeed recovered and wanted to discuss something with you. Ning Cheng invited Shen Qinyu into his immortal cave and asked, What's the matter? Please tell me, I'm also planning to leave this place. Your cultivation method is quite special. It does not even have a celestial wheel. Shen Qinyu unexpectedly spoke out an irrelevant sentence. Ning Cheng showed a faint smile. I also have a celestial wheel, but I hid it. Hidden celestial wheels? Shen Qinyu's eyes flashed with surprise, before she smiled and spoke. Do you know about the Sea of Twilight? I've heard of it. Ning Cheng nodded. The stupid cow in his ring had escaped from the Sea of Twilight. Moreover, its first owner had also fallen in the Sea of Twilight. The Sea of Twilight has 2 extremely precious things. One is the Twilight Sand, and the other is the Time Stone. Shen Qinyu said, I have heard of time stones, but what is this Twilight Sand? Ning Cheng quickly asked, the previous owner of this stupid cow had also fallen in the Sea of Twilight. Was it because of the Twilight Sand? Shen Qinyu looked at Ning Cheng and spoke, This is what I wanted to discuss with you. Twilight Sand is one of the best artifact crafting materials within the starry skies. One could even say that it is the best artifact crafting material within the Striking Order starry skies. Every single pellet was a priceless treasure. It was said that magic treasures refined from this kind of material carried faint time laws and were incomparably powerful. Many starry skies in the universe knew about the Striking Order starry skies because of the Twilight Sand. Many of the cultivators who came in wanted to go to the Sea of Twilight to get the Twilight Sand. Ning Cheng's heart immediately moved. With the growth of his cultivation, his Nirvana spear obviously could not be used as a common weapon. He needed a spear that truly belonged to him. He had a material that even Song Wei did not know about. If he added the Twilight Sand into the mix, then in the future he would be able to refine a long spear. It would definitely be extraordinary. He had the time stones, and Ning Cheng believed that one day he would eventually touch upon the laws of time. If he touched the law of time and obtained a spear with the law of time, then what? Thinking of this, Ning Cheng's eyes flashed with passion. Ning Cheng's passion and eagerness, Shen Qinyu immediately saw through it. She suddenly spoke up, Senior Apprentice Brother Wanderer, I know that you have extraordinary skills, but we can cooperate. I have some understanding of the Sea of Twilight. Let's go to the Sea of Twilight together and look for the Twilight Sand and Time Stones. What can I help you with? Ning Cheng asked. Shen Qinyu gave a sigh and spoke, I found a very good partner. He has a strange heaven and earth flame. If we could contact him, then our chances of success would increase by 20%. However, after I came in, I tried to contact him. Even after trying for 2 years, I still could not get any news from him. Later, I lost my communication pearl and could not contact him at all. The Time Wilderness is filled with dangers. Besides that flame, his cultivation can only be regarded as average. I'm afraid that I might not be able to make it out alive. Ning Cheng then realized that Shen Qinyu had contacted him more than once. Should he tell Shen Qinyu about his identity? Ning Cheng quickly discarded this idea. Once he told Shen Qinyu about his identity, it would mean that the news of him not dying after entering the perpetual moon lake would come to light. Moreover, he and Shen Qinyu were not familiar with each other. However, what made Ningqing wonder was how did Shen Qinyu know that he had a flame? Did Shen Qinyu discover the celestial river hidden in his domain 2 months ago? If that was the case, then Shen Qinyu's spiritual consciousness must be very powerful. Thinking of this, Ningqing asked, I heard that heaven and earth flames are very difficult to obtain. Are you sure that your friend has this flame? Moreover, why does the Sea of Twilight need this flame? I'm sure. I've met him before, and we came here together from the Orchid Burrow's Celestial River. The Orchid Burrow Celestial River's battleship encountered the Starry Sky's spirit-devouring rat tide. The moment I left, I saw him using the flame to open a path. As for why the Sea of Twilight needs this flame, I'm not very clear about it. I just heard from the information I obtained that with this flame, the chances of success would be much higher. Shen Qinyu answered Ningqing's words in a very serious manner. From this, it could be seen that she had been thinking about cooperating with Ningqing for a long time. Ningqing immediately understood that when he used the flame to escape, Shen Qinyu had unexpectedly seen it. From Shen Qinyu's words, he understood that Shen Qinyu had only seen him using the flame to burn the spirit-devouring rats, and had not seen him using the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, which made him feel slightly relieved. All right, I agree to cooperate with you. However, you have to tell me some basic information about the Sea of Twilight, and… That's right, I want to ask you a question. Ningqing seemed to have thought of something and suddenly asked. Shen Qinyu, on hearing that Ningqing was willing to cooperate, felt her heart loosen up. Since she could not contact Ningqing, then the chances of her going to the Sea of Twilight by herself were very slim. You can ask. As long as I know it, I will definitely tell you. Shen Qinyu replied with a very happy tone. Even if Ningqing did not want to cooperate with her, Ningqing had still saved her life. As such, she would definitely answer some of the questions that she knew about Ningqing. Ningqing spoke with an awkward tone. Because I am a rogue cultivator, I do not have a master, and have been wandering the starry skies for a long time. As such, there are some questions that I do not understand when it comes to cultivation. When Shen Qinyu heard that it was a question related to cultivation, she showed a smile and spoke. It doesn't matter. Although my cultivation is not high, I have been exposed to a variety of cultivation systems since I was a child. Although I might not be able to answer some of the more profound questions, I can still discuss some of the ordinary questions with you. Okay. Ningqing no longer remained polite. After I advanced to the celestial Shatterer realm many years ago, there was no thunder tribulation. What is going on? Ningqing did not say that he advanced to the celestial Shatterer realm in the time wilderness. He believed that even if he advanced in the time wilderness, a thunder tribulation should have descended. Shen Qinyu, on hearing Ningqing's words, stared at Ningqing for a while without speaking. Ningqing could see some pity in Shen Qinyu's eyes and an indescribable feeling. He spoke up with some embarrassment. If it's not easy to answer, then forget it. It's not a big deal. When Shen Qinyu heard Ningqing's question, she couldn't help but feel a little sad in her heart. Compared to this starry sky's wanderer's poor cultivation knowledge, her cultivation knowledge could be described as luxurious and rich. Do you have few friends and rarely go to parties? Shen Qinyu's tone turned incomparably soft. Ningqing could also feel the change in Shen Qinyu's tone. From the tone of a friend, it had changed to that of an incomparably gentle big sister next door. Although he did not know what Shen Qinyu meant, Ningqing still gave an sound and spoke. Yes, I am a starry skies wanderer. I have always been exploring my own path, and do not have any friends. Shen Qinyu looked at Ningqing and spoke up with an even softer gaze. The truth is that from the celestial novice realm to the celestial shatterer realm and then to the celestial gatherer realm, there is no thunder tribulation. Only when advancing from the celestial gatherer realm to the celestial bridge realm would a thunder tribulation appear. Similarly, there was no thunder tribulation within the 3 realms of the Star River realm. Only when advancing from the Heaven's Mandate realm to the Heaven-seated realm would there be a thunder tribulation. Moreover, this lightning tribulation was extremely terrifying. If one was not careful, they would die. But after the Sky realm, every time you advance, there will be a powerful thunder tribulation. Ningqing felt countless alpacas galloping in his heart. He finally understood why Shen Qinyu looked at him with such a sympathetic and soft gaze. This was something that even a 3-year-old child would know, yet he actually asked Shen Qinyu about it. He was a celestial shatter cultivator, yet he did not even know about the existence of a thunder tribulation. In fact, I think you are the truly amazing one. Without any guidance, you managed to cultivate to the celestial shatterer realm by yourself. Even ordinary geniuses would not dare to compare to you. Apparently seeing Ning Cheng's awkward expression, Shen Qinyu took the initiative to comfort him. Similarly, she also understood why Ning Cheng did not have a celestial wheel. It was definitely not because Ning Cheng had concealed his celestial wheel, but because Ning Cheng had figured out his cultivation method by himself. It was already a great fortune for him to cultivate to the celestial shatterer realm without suffering from cultivation deviation. How could he dare to have a celestial wheel? She did not doubt Ning Cheng's combat prowess. Starry Skies wanderers generally had powerful combat prowess. Moreover, Ning Cheng had already proven his formidable combat prowess in the celestial forest arena. Can you tell me what are the 3 realms of the celestial river realm? Ning Cheng's words interrupted Shen Qinyu's thoughts. Since he had already asked such a ridiculous question, he might as well ask a few more. Shen Qinyu carefully explained to Ning Cheng, the 3 realms of the celestial scryer realm are when a cultivator crosses the nirvana tribulation, transforming their true essence into celestial essence, which then forms a celestial wheel. According to the strength of one's celestial essence, it is divided into 3 realms. I won't talk about it, but you must have already understood a bit about it. The first realm of the 3 realms of the celestial river realm is the celestial bridge. When the celestial wheel starts to fuse, it forms a celestial bridge cultivator. At the same time, a celestial bridge cultivator's comprehension ability and spirit techniques would greatly increase. Moreover, the more powerful the celestial bridge, the more powerful the celestial essence support. When a cultivator cultivates to the point that their body is damaged and can regenerate, they would then enter the undead realm. Cultivators in the undead realm are divided into strong and weak. However, even the most powerful cultivator in the undead realm would need a corporeal body to regenerate. As for cultivators in the Heaven's Mandate realm, they would be able to glimpse a trace of their own destiny. Heaven's Mandate cultivators are the highest realm in the celestial river realm. Chapter 544. Within the Sea of Twilight, one's spiritual consciousness can only extend within a radius of 3 feet. Let's stick close to each other and not get separated. Shen Qinyu finished, before taking the first step into the Sea of Twilight. After the 2 walked for an hour within the Sea of Twilight, Shen Qinyu was just about to let go of Ning Cheng's hand when she heard Ning Cheng speak up. There seems to be a time stone in front of us. I can feel the flow of time. Ning Cheng pulled up Shen Qinyu, who was sitting on the ground, and looked at her ragged appearance, before speaking up in an apologetic voice. I'm sorry, I didn't know that we couldn't fly in this place. At the same time, Shen Qinyu's voice once again arrived. Don't let go of my hand for the time being. You have not yet adapted to the Sea of Twilight. Once you let go of my hand, we might end up losing each other. Junior Apprentice Sister Shin, are you also representing the Orchid Burrow Celestial River? Half a day later, Ning Cheng asked all the questions he wanted to ask and took the initiative to change the topic. Shen Qinyu showed a faint smile. Even if Striking Order Holy Emperor cultivated for another 1,000,000 years, he would still not be able to stand side by side with the Perpetual Moon Holy Emperor. Even if they were both Heavenly Emperors, Striking Order Heavenly Emperors still lagged behind. Within the vast starry skies, Striking Order Heavenly Emperor didn't count for much. If not for Striking Order Starry Sky's poverty, Striking Order Heavenly Emperor's Striking Order Starry Sky would have already changed its name. What is the value of the Perpetual Moontime Key? Ning Cheng quickly asked. This was what he cared about the most. The Perpetual Moontime Key was in his ring, but he had no idea what was so precious about it. Ning Cheng felt shocked. He did not know what was going on. He quickly reached out and pulled Shen Qinyu closer, wanting to let her fall to the ground. Shen Qinyu shook her head. I don't know. I only know that it was left behind by the perpetual moon holy emperor. Just like the time wilderness, it also belongs to the perpetual moon holy emperor. Shen Qinyu showed a smile. No, I came to the Orchid Burrow Celestial River to enter the time wilderness. In fact, there are many cultivators like me who came from other starry skies. I entered the time wilderness for two things, the most important of which is the perpetual moon time key. Of course. Ning Qing gave a calm smile. Riches and honor came from danger. This sentence was equally applicable to starry skies cultivators. This is the deepest part of the Sea of Twilight. No one can come here by themselves. The cultivators who can come to this place were all sucked in by the time maelstrom. As such, it is absolutely impossible for them to get out. In Ning Cheng's impression, Shen Qinyu, who had always been relatively calm, spoke with a trembling voice. From this, one could tell that she feared the depths of the Sea of Twilight. Shen Qinyu's trembling voice arrived. We can no longer get out. Ning Cheng did not hesitate and followed Shen Qinyu inside. He quickly discovered that his spiritual consciousness did not have a range of only 3 feet like what Shen Qinyu had said. Rather, his spiritual consciousness encompassed a radius of 10 miles. Shen Qinyu, on the other hand, did not show even half a shred of impatience. Instead, she still spoke in a soft tone. That's right. The venue for the finals is called Grand Culmination Starry Skies. In our positional plane, Grand Culmination Starry Skies is one of the 4 Grand Starry Skies and also the central location of the entire Grand Culmination Starry Skies. Don't fly up. Ning Cheng heard Shen Qinyu's screams, while at the same time, he saw a burst of light erupt from the place where he had just stood. If he had been just a little bit slower, he would have been ambushed by this ball of light. What about the 3 realms of destiny? Ning Cheng was like a studious student. Thank you. After Ning Cheng replied with 2 words, he was just about to pull out his hand when he found that Shen Qinyu's hand was still holding onto his. After that, she looked up at Ning Cheng. The fear on her face had already disappeared, and even her voice did not tremble like before. You don't have to feel guilty. I didn't explain it clearly. I was the one who encouraged you to come here. In this place, there is no way to get out. If the 2 of us were to talk, then maybe we could die a little easier. Shen Qinyu once again tore off a strip of cloth from her tattered robes. After tying it around her wrist, she used the other end to tie Ning Cheng's wrist and spoke. I can only see about 10 feet around me from here. I can't use my spiritual consciousness anymore. If we don't tie each other up, I'm afraid that we would soon be separated. This was not the first time that he had come into contact with Shen Qinyu. In his impression, this woman was somewhat mysterious. Ning Cheng could clearly hear Shen Qinyu's robes being torn apart. A faint bloody aura spread out, and a powerful force tried to sweep Shen Qinyu away. When Ning Cheng heard Shen Qinyu's explanation, he frowned slightly. Should he enter the Sea of Twilight? Speaking of time stones, he already had 3 of them. Was it worth it to take the risk? I know that there are many starry skies outside of the striking order starry skies. After the tryouts come out, do we have to go to the biggest starry skies in the universe to participate in the finals? Ning Cheng truly had a lot of questions. Now that he had caught hold of Shen Qinyu, he might as well ask her about it. Hearing Ning Cheng's words, Shen Qinyu immediately grabbed Ning Cheng's hand and spoke. Senior apprentice brother wanderer, you should hurry up and follow the direction you feel. Just as Ning Cheng was still indulging in flights of fancy, a warm and soft hand grabbed his hand, followed by Shen Qinyu's voice. Senior apprentice brother wanderer, in the Sea of Twilight, you must not stop. You have to keep moving around, that way, your lifespan will not decline. Once you stop in a place, your lifespan will quickly decline. Shen Qinyu was a very knowledgeable person. No matter what Ning Cheng asked, she could always answer it in a way that Ning Cheng could easily understand. After talking to Shen Qinyu, Ning Cheng felt that he had benefited a lot. However, the powerful force did not allow Ning Cheng to do so. He could only feel the endless tearing blade lights slamming into his body. At the same time, a horrifying force swept him away. He could not even bring out his twin wings of the heavenly clouds. He could not resist the blade lights. nor could he resist the power sweeping towards him. Shen Qinyu answered with patience. If a cultivator in the heavens mandate realm can cut off all impurities and successfully surmount the tribulation, they would be able to advance to the heaven-seated realm and become a powerhouse in the heaven-seated realm. Heaven-seated powerhouses can break through life and death and advance to the life and death realm after understanding yin and yang. As for the eternal realm, I heard that one's life is eternal and endless. I have only read about it from other places, but I have never experienced it myself. Ning Cheng and Shen Qinyu's position was not too far from the Sea of Twilight. Ning Cheng felt that Shen Qinyu had stopped before he could ask too many questions. We finally landed. This Sea of Twilight is too scary. Ning Cheng gave out a sigh. However, a feeling of endless vicissitudes of time surrounded him. The feeling of time flowing away from the perpetual moon lake once again welled up in his heart. Ning Cheng's heart skipped a beat. If this continued, his lifespan would end before he could find the twilight sand. How could she casually say such an important thing? Ning Cheng looked at Shen Qinyu in surprise. Shen Qinyu explained, I heard that only those who are trapped in the Sea of Twilight can understand the meaning of this sentence. However, don't think that the Sea of Twilight looks like a sunset over the sea. In fact, there is not even a single drop of water in this place. What you see is a combination of time wheels and time wheels. We will have to enter the Sea of Twilight, which is extremely dangerous. If you are not careful, you will end up getting caught by the time wheels. Time would disappear in an instant, and you would have no chance of survival. Bang! A huge impact force erupted, and Ning Cheng felt as if his entire body was about to fall apart. However, he knew that he had finally landed on the ground. You also know that the sunset is infinitely beautiful, but it's almost dusk? Shen Qinyu looked at Ning Cheng in amazement. Is the perpetual moon Holy Emperor the same as Striking Order Heavenly Emperor, a powerhouse who controls a starry sky? Ning Cheng asked. What appeared in front of Ning Cheng was a beautiful world, completely different from the grayish and dim atmosphere in the rest of the place. Standing here, Ning Cheng felt as if he was standing on the seashore where the sun was about to set. The red sunset glow looked just like a rainbow, forming a rainbow bridge over the distant sea. Although she spoke, Shen Qinyu felt shocked in her heart. She did not think that Ning Cheng could feel the flow of time within the time stones. She had entered the time wilderness for 3 years and had not obtained even a single time stone. Not waiting for Ning Cheng to speak, he felt a kind of tearing pain as a blade light, which he simply could not resist, blasted into his body, followed by a powerful pulling force rolling towards him. Shen Qinyu saw through Ning Cheng's thoughts and spoke. As for whether to enter this place or not, you should think about it carefully before we go in. Otherwise, once we go in, we will most likely lose our way and never come out. Shen Qinyu's weak voice arrived. These are the time blade lights and time vortexes. Do not use your celestial essence to resist them. Not only would you not be able to block them, but it would also cause this force to grow even stronger. Although his spiritual consciousness had also been suppressed, it was still many times more powerful compared to 3 meters. After Ning Cheng understood this, he immediately felt relieved. His starry sky's sea of consciousness truly was different. I've naturally heard of this sentence. How did you know about it? Ning Cheng felt even more puzzled than Shen Qinyu. Of course, he knew that it was a poem written by Li Shangyin of the Tang dynasty. Xiang Wan felt uncomfortable, so I drove up the ancient plains. The setting sun is infinitely beautiful, but dusk is approaching. He wondered how Shen Qinyu knew about this sentence. What's going on? Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept out, only to find that his spiritual consciousness had shrunk from a range of 10 miles to a radius of about 10 feet. Ning Cheng, who was still hesitant, suddenly felt his heart lighten up when he heard Shen Qinyu's words. Along the way, didn't he always seek opportunities amidst dangers? There were countless cultivators in the vast starry skies. How many dangerous opportunities would there be for him to obtain? Ning Cheng promptly stopped resisting, and the violent sweeping force wrapped around Ning Cheng and Shen Qinyu. At this moment, Ning Cheng could not even use his spiritual consciousness. The setting sun is infinitely beautiful, but dusk is approaching. Such a sentence popped up in Ning Cheng's mind for no reason. It was simply too appropriate to describe this place. Shen Qinyu spoke up calmly. The perpetual moontime key is probably the most valuable thing in the time wilderness. The reason why I told you about it is that the time lake exploded, causing the perpetual moontime key to never appear again. When you went into seclusion, I went to the perpetual moon lake once, which is how I came to know about it. Ningqing did not want to tell Shen Qinyu that his spiritual consciousness could reach a range of 10 miles. As such, he could only let Shen Qinyu do as she pleased. Ningqing quickened his pace, and in just a few dozen breaths he arrived next to the time stone. Just as Ningqing bent down to pick up the time stone, an extreme sense of danger suddenly rose from the bottom of his heart. Ningqing did not even think about it and immediately flew out with Shen Qinyu. In fact, Ningqing's spiritual consciousness had already detected the time stone. Although it was much smaller than the 3 time stones he obtained, Ningqing felt sure that it was a time stone. After speaking, Shen Qinyu stood up and spoke, "Let's head to the Sea of Twilight now. If you have any questions, you can ask me on the way." What a beautiful place. The setting sun is infinitely beautiful, but dusk is approaching. After a long time, Ningqing spoke up with a sigh. As soon as he thought of it, he spoke up. Chapter 545. Ningqing's spiritual consciousness fell into his ring and found that he could still take out the things inside, causing him to finally feel relieved. At least in this place, he could still cultivate. From the looks of it, Shen Qinyu's spiritual consciousness should have been completely shackled. Most likely, she would not even be able to open her ring. Ningqing was just about to tell Shen Qinyu that he could take out the things inside the ring when Shen Qinyu spoke up once again. In the deepest part of the Sea of Twilight, time would always pass by. Even walking around would not help. With our lifespan, we can only live for 10 years at most. Moreover, the depths of the Sea of Twilight are boundless. Even if we keep walking, we will still be here after 10 years. Ningqing remained silent. He could indeed feel his lifespan slipping away. Regardless of whether he could use his spiritual consciousness or not, as long as he was in here, he would not be able to survive. Thinking of this, Ningqing gave a sigh and spoke, "I still have a miniature world. Let's go into the miniature world and think of a way." Shen Qinyu shook her head and spoke, "It's useless. Unless the laws of your miniature world surpass the laws of the Sea of Twilight, the flow of time within your miniature world would still be the same. It would not slow down just because you entered the miniature world. What's more, without divine sense, it's impossible to enter the small world. Is there really no way to get out of the depths of the Sea of Twilight?" Ningqing's face turned ugly to look at. Shen Qinyu spoke up calmly, "Not only is there no way to get out, but I also heard that the loss of one's lifespan in the Sea of Twilight cannot be recovered. In other places within the time wilderness, once one lost their lifespan, one's appearance would turn old. However, this kind of aging could be restored through cultivation. But in the Sea of Twilight, one's lifespan would be lost, and it would be difficult to regain their old appearance. Even if you increase your cultivation, you will only be able to increase your lifespan, but you will lose your beauty forever." Ningqing turned sluggish. According to Shen Qinyu's words, even if he went out one day, he would become a white-haired old man. How could he be together with Shi Qianghua and Lufei? Not caring about Ningqing's stupor, Shen Qinyu also gave out a sigh, while her eyes revealed a trace of loneliness. She never thought that the peerless beauty that she had been concealing would slowly age alone in the Sea of Twilight. She thought of Xiao Yu, who had been pursuing her crazily. He was the only senior brother that she had a good impression of. In the grand culmination Starry Skies, the spiritual heaven sect was also a top-ranked sect, belonging to the Starry Skies class. In the Ling Xiao sect, only disciples who could inherit the sect's mantle could have the Xiao character in their name. However, Xiao Yu was obviously the pride of the spiritual heaven sect. He had cultivated to the celestial bridge realm before the age of 100. Shen Qinyu looked at Ningqing beside her and felt a little lost in her heart. Ningqing was a Starry Skies wanderer and a principled Starry Skies wanderer. If Ningqing was replaced by Xiao Yu, with only 10 years to live, how would he treat himself? "Do you have someone you like?" Shen Qinyu interrupted Ning Cheng's days. Ning Cheng gave in sound and spoke, "Yes, I have 2 wives. I was thinking, if one day I grow old, what would happen if I went out and saw them?" Shen Qinyu apparently did not think that Ning Cheng would have 2 wives. She froze for a while before asking in doubt, "Aren't starry skies wanderers always alone? Why does he have a wife?" In Ning Cheng's mind, Shi Qionghua's incomparably demure demeanor appeared, along with Ji Luofei's gentle and tranquil temperament. In comparison, Luofei was more extroverted than Qianghua. Before I entered the starry skies, or rather, when I was in a low-level true cultivation mainland, I already had 2 wives. Ning Cheng's tone no longer had the previous impatience. He believed that little Chase could escape. Even if it was just a soul essence cultivator, he still had a way to deal with it. When the time came, he would ask little Chase in detail. In any case, he had to get out of this place. If Shen Qinyu did not want to, then after Shen Qinyu found a place to settle down, he would find a way to get out. Seeing Ning Cheng turn silent again, Shen Qinyu suddenly spoke up, "I heard that in the depths of the Sea of Twilight, there is an ice essence called Glimmer of Dawn. A drop of this ice essence can restore a person's original appearance. It's just that the value of this thing is even higher than the twilight sand. Anyway, it's just hearsay, no one has ever seen it before." Glimmer of Dawn ice essence. Ning Cheng muttered to himself before asking, "I've said before, the sunset is infinitely beautiful, but it's only near dusk. Where did you hear this sentence?" Shen Qinyu shook her head. "It's not that I've heard it before, but everyone who knows about the Sea of Twilight has heard this sentence. I heard that only when you reach the Sea of Twilight can you truly understand the meaning of this sentence. Now that we have not only reached the Sea of Twilight, but also the deepest part of the Sea of Twilight, I still do not know what this sentence means. It looks like rumors are sometimes not necessarily true." Ning Cheng did not speak. He wondered if there was such a coincidence. The people from both worlds remembered this sentence, and then the people here used this sentence to describe the Sea of Twilight. You don't have to think too much about it. Our lifespans are limited. Let's walk around this place for a while and try our luck. If we can't find the exit after a few years, I plan to find a place to wait quietly. Shen Qinyu's tone turned even calmer. Apparently, she had already accepted her fate. Ning Cheng nodded. He did not refute Shen Qinyu's words. However, finding a place to wait for death was absolutely impossible. In fact, I also come from the grand culmination starry skies. Compared to you, I'm much luckier. I have a master in the life and death realm, and a perfect family. Shen Qinyu and Ning Cheng continued to walk while talking about her origins. Ning Cheng just listened quietly. He did not ask any questions, nor did he take the initiative to talk to Shen Qinyu about his own matters. One day passed just like that. 2 days, 3 days, 1 month passed just like that. Shen Qinyu had already stopped talking. She suddenly felt that she was a bit long-winded. Even if she added up the words she spoke in her entire life, she would not be able to speak as much as she did in a month. In such an environment, she seemed to be able to forget that she was trapped in the Sea of Twilight only by talking non-stop. The 2nd month, the 3rd month also passed by. As Ning Cheng and Shen Qinyu continued to walk, the two people's lifespans rapidly drained away. From the start of the 2nd month, Shen Qinyu did not speak a single word, while Ning Cheng also did not speak a single word. The two people just kept walking. Shen Qinyu's eyes grew more and more tired, and her entire person seemed to be growing more and more haggard and dispirited. Her exposed white skin had also turned dark due to walking in the depths of the Sea of Twilight for a few months. In the first 3 months, Shen Qinyu would occasionally look at Ning Cheng. But by the 4th month, she had even closed her eyes. Ning Cheng remained silent. For the next 4 months, he continuously used his spiritual consciousness to capture the lost years outside. He wanted to grasp the glimmer of epiphany that he could not grasp in the perpetual moon lake. At the same time, he also wanted to find a way out. However, after 4 months, his spiritual consciousness had extended from a radius of 10 feet to a radius of 20 feet. Yet, he still could not feel the lost years again. Just as the 5th month was about to pass, Shen Qinyu finally stopped. There was no end to this road. Whether she walked or not, it would be the same. Ning Cheng and Shen Qinyu had been walking at the same pace, which allowed Ning Cheng to contemplate and gain insights at the same speed. But when Shen Qinyu stopped, she pulled at the belt in her hand, causing Ning Cheng to suddenly wake up. Only then did he stop and ask subconsciously, "Why did you stop?" "You're a silent person. I've never walked with a person like this for almost 5 months without saying a word. I'm sorry, but I can't walk with you anymore. I really can't walk anymore." Shen Qinyu's tone was a bit dry. From this, Ning Cheng understood that she was not lying. She truly could not walk anymore. Ning Cheng secretly cursed himself for being careless. Shen Qinyu did not have a spiritual consciousness, which meant that her celestial essence consumption was many times higher than his. Walking like this for 5 months, without asking, Ning Cheng understood that she had reached her limit. As such, he felt somewhat apologetic. Not waiting for Ning Cheng to speak, Shen Qinyu suddenly took off the mask on her face and spoke. "We are also friends. I should at least let you see my true face. You can continue to walk the rest of the way alone. I'll stay here and wait for you." Ning Cheng, who originally wanted to speak, looked at Shen Qinyu's face in a daze. He had never seen such a perfect face. Her eyes, which could only be regarded as beautiful before, suddenly turned vivid when placed on this face. Even the extreme exhaustion and loneliness could not conceal these two eyes that were like two clear springs. Slightly pale lips, coupled with this pair of eyes, made her already devastatingly beautiful face even more indescribable. Her messy hair and the clothes that hung on her body like rags did not diminish her beauty in the slightest. Instead, it set off a kind of peerless and refined aura. Anyone who saw this face would immediately forget to observe everything around them. This was simply a masterpiece of the starry sky universe, a landscape painting, a beautiful song. Ning Cheng's gaze gradually wandered away, while Lufei and Qianghua appeared in front of his eyes. One was the most beautiful thing he saw in front of him, while the other was the most beautiful thing in his heart. This kind of dissociation gradually gathered in his mind, making him eager to return to Qianghua and Luofei's side. Shen Qinyu did not care about Ning Cheng's gaze. Any man who saw her for the first time would feel a sense of amazement. She even admitted that in this world, she had not seen a second woman more beautiful than her. However, she soon saw Ning Cheng's gaze wander. How could someone think of another woman when looking at her? Shen Qinyu showed a faint smile. If possible, she really wanted to see the woman Ning Cheng was thinking of. When she thought of this, she suddenly shook her head. If it were in the past, she would never have thought of such a thing. "I thought too much. I actually wanted to let you see my face before we separate. If it were in the past, I would never have imagined that it would be true." Shen Qinyu's voice still sounded dry. She wanted to thank Ning Cheng for saving her once, which allowed Ning Cheng to see her face. Naturally, it also contained a sense of self-pity. She had unexpectedly fallen in the sea of twilight with a strange starry skies wanderer. Chapter 546. Let's go together. Ning Cheng took out a pot of water from his ring and handed it to Shen Qinyu. Shen Qinyu took the water that Ning Cheng handed to her and took a sip before looking at Ning Cheng in amazement. "You can use your spiritual consciousness?" Ning Cheng smiled. "My spiritual consciousness is also bound, but I can still take out the things inside the ring." "Thank you." Shen Qinyu felt much better after drinking the water. She really wanted to ask Ning Cheng to help her take out a set of clothes from her ring, but thinking of the things inside her ring, she held back. As for asking Ning Cheng to borrow a set of clothes to wear, she had never thought about it. If you can continue walking, then let's continue walking. I think if we don't go, we won't have any hope at all. If we keep walking, then maybe one day we can find a way out. Ning Cheng looked at Shen Qinyu and spoke as slowly as possible. In the beginning, Ning Cheng still wanted to leave Shen Qinyu in one place while he continued to look for a way out. Once he found a way out, he would then come back and lead Shen Qinyu away. Now that 5 months had passed, Ning Cheng knew that such an idea would never become a reality. He had no idea which direction he had come from a few minutes ago. Not to mention coming back to find someone in the future. Shen Qinyu took in a deep breath and nodded. "I can go." "All right." Although he did not use his spiritual consciousness to observe Shen Qinyu, Ning Cheng could see that Shen Qinyu looked fine and did not ask anything. Ning Cheng quickly fell into a state of enlightenment regarding the passage of time. At first, he could only feel his lifespan rapidly disappearing. Towards the end, he caught the passing of time. Not only did he touch the flow of time, but his spiritual consciousness could also penetrate further and further. In the end, Ning Cheng even found a source within this flow of time. It was as if the closer he got to the fountain, the faster the surrounding time flowed, and the faster his lifespan was consumed. Ning Cheng's mind suddenly sobered up. If it was any other place, Ning Cheng would have definitely stayed far away from this place where the flow of time was extremely fast. But now Ning Cheng decided to speed up. This might be his only way out. At this time, Ning Cheng no longer tried to save his celestial essence. Junior apprentice Sister Chin, I think we should hurry up. Ning Cheng had only spoken half of his words when he suddenly stopped. Shen Qinyu followed him mechanically, as if her consciousness had completely disappeared. It was just a subconscious action, repeated step by step. Not good. If this goes on, I'll be a lamp that runs out of oil. Ning Cheng did not dare to think about it anymore. Not caring about anything else, he raised his hand and put Shen Qinyu on his back. At the same time, he took out a few medicinal pills and put them in her mouth. Feeling that Shen Qinyu's aura had calmed down a little, Ning Cheng stimulated his celestial essence and no longer looked as slow as before. At the same time, a faint trail of dust appeared under his feet. Compared to before, his speed was more than 10 times faster. The more Ning Cheng moved in the direction he felt, the more he could feel his lifespan flowing away. Sometimes, the most dangerous place was the safest place. Moreover, he had no other choice. The formidable power of the mysterious yellow formless was vividly reflected at this time. Even if Ning Cheng ran at full speed, the mysterious yellow formless would still allow him to temper his spiritual consciousness. His spiritual consciousness was constantly strengthening, and his senses were also constantly strengthening under the constant strengthening of his spiritual consciousness. At this time, Ning Cheng completely forgot about the passage of time and the disappearance of time. He was immersed in a kind of walking epiphany. The passage of time around him allowed him to constantly feel the passing of life, allowing him to grasp some of the mysteries within the passage of time. At the same time, this kind of running also allowed his spiritual consciousness to soar. Shen Qinyu was awakened by a mysterious aura. She opened her eyes and found herself lying on Ning Cheng's back. Ning Cheng, carrying her on his back, seemed to be unaware of anything as he madly rushed forward. As someone who came from a big family and had a good master, Shen Qinyu instantly understood Ning Cheng's actions. Ning Cheng had fallen into an epiphany. Moreover, it was a walking epiphany. Shen Qinyu felt extremely grateful towards Ning Cheng in her heart, but at the same time, she also felt a kind of shock from the bottom of her heart. She came from the center of this positional plane and had seen countless geniuses. However, she had never seen a genius like Ning Cheng. Carrying a person on his back, while crazily running through the deepest part of the Sea of Twilight, he could still achieve an epiphany. What kind of aptitude was this? Was it too terrifying? No wonder he could cultivate to the celestial Shatterer realm without any master. Not only did he cultivate to the celestial Shatterer realm, but his combat prowess was also amazing. As the powerful aura of enlightenment shrouded her, Shen Qinyu suddenly closed her eyes and immersed herself in this epiphany. Previously, she had closed her eyes because her celestial essence had dried up, almost to the point of exhaustion. But now, she closed her eyes because of Ning Cheng's epiphany. Ning Cheng's epiphany also gave her an epiphany. As the years passed, time never stopped. When Shen Qinyu opened her eyes again, they were filled with excitement and joy. She had unexpectedly touched upon the mysterious laws of time. At this moment, she believed that if given enough time, once she advanced to the celestial bridge realm, she would become the first person in the entire starry skies to touch upon the laws of time in the celestial river realm. No, it should be the second. She had touched the surface of the laws of time during Ning Cheng's epiphany, which meant that Ning Cheng definitely had a deeper understanding than her. Maybe Ning Cheng had truly touched upon the laws of time, something that only those who had reached beyond the eternal realm could touch. As Shen Qinyu thought of this, she felt even more horrified. A cultivator in the celestial Shatterer realm who had touched upon the surface of the laws of time, could this be described as a genius? Since ancient times, which genius could touch upon the surface of the laws of time in the celestial Scryer realm? Not to mention touching upon the surface of the laws of time, even touching upon the surface of the laws of space was extremely rare. As Shen Qinyu thought of this, she retracted her thoughts and her gaze fell on Ning Cheng's back. Previously, when she had comprehended the laws of time, she had not noticed the changes in Ning Cheng. However, when she retracted her thoughts and saw the changes in Ning Cheng, she almost screamed out loud. Ning Cheng's originally gray hair had turned completely white, and even his skin had aged a lot. Shen Qinyu instantly sobered up, only to find that her hair had also turned silver. Time passed by so quickly. Did this unknown wanderer carry her on his back for 2 or 3 years? She did not know why, but the passage of time was getting faster and faster. If this continued, she would not have a lifespan of more than 10 years. Perhaps her lifespan would soon run dry. At this moment, Shen Qinyu's heart no longer felt the same desolation and loneliness from before. She knew that she could only live for a year at most. However, at the moment when she was about to fall, she unexpectedly touched upon the surface of the laws of time and felt a trace of the passage of time. For a starry skies cultivator, what could make her happier than this? A long roar awakened Shen Qinyu. Ning Cheng stopped and stood in place while letting out a long roar. Shen Qinyu felt her heart tremble. This long roar contained the vicissitudes of time and the joy of enlightenment. Shen Qinyu could not make such a long roar. However, when she heard this long roar, she felt a resonance from the depths of her soul. At this moment, she and Ning Cheng experienced the same epiphany. However, the next moment, she felt stunned by the scene in front of her. A gorgeous rainbow appeared in front of them, with a faint star-like sunset glow in the middle of the rainbow. She had never seen a rainbow so close to her, nor had she ever seen a sunset glow so close to her fingertips. Beautiful, it was simply too beautiful. Even with her lifespan rapidly draining away, Shen Qinyu could not stop praising this beauty. This beauty came from her heart, from the depths of her soul. Perhaps in the next moment, she would fall under this beautiful sunset. However, she did not want to give up on this beauty. The sunset is infinitely beautiful, but it is near dusk. Shen Qinyu murmured these words in a low voice. She seemed to understand some of the meaning behind it. Between heaven and earth, life is like a white colt passing by, suddenly. After the long roar, Ning Cheng suddenly spoke out in a clear voice. He finally understood the meaning of this sentence. If there was a world between heaven and earth, then this was it. In this world, 100 years would pass by in just a snap of the fingers. If I cross this world, then what? Ning Cheng laughed as he flew up and unexpectedly rushed towards the setting sun. Dashing towards the beautiful sunset rainbow, Shen Qinyu gave out an sound in her heart and wanted to stop Ning Cheng. This place was simply too beautiful. Even if she had to stand here and look at the beautiful sunset until she fell, she would be willing to do so without any regrets. However, this wanderer actually wanted to take her through this beautiful scenery and destroy this beautiful sunset. His snow-white hair flew up and fell on Shen Qinyu's face, forcibly suppressing Shen Qinyu's attempts to stop him. An ice-cold aura assaulted her, causing Shen Qinyu to shiver. She could feel the chill. But then she felt something wrong again. The loss of her lifespan had disappeared without a trace, and in front of her was a world of ice and snow. My spiritual consciousness can now extend out about 10 feet, and I can also take out the things inside the ring. Shen Qinyu's words of surprise had not yet finished when her feet landed on the ground. Ning Cheng put her down. However, at this moment, she had completely forgotten what she had just said. She followed the gaze of Ning Cheng, who was standing next to her, and felt shocked once again. At the far end of the horizon, a soft red glow could be seen, and the rainbow reflected by the red glow looked even more beautiful. This was not the red glow of the sunset, nor was it the rainbow of the sunset. Rather, it was the appearance of the rising sun, the first glimmer of dawn. That is where we just came from. The place we came from is the sunset. After we pass through this sunset, we arrive at the first glimmer of dawn. When we passed through it, it was very close, but when we look back, it feels very far away. Ning Cheng looked at the red glow in the distance and spoke with a hint of excitement. Even if he did not gain anything in the Sea of Twilight, he would still feel satisfied. Passing through the sunset was the first glimmer of dawn. No one understood it better than him, as he had done it himself. Combined with his experience of walking in the Sea of Twilight for a few months, Ning Cheng believed that he would once again touch the surface of the laws of time. At this moment he finally understood the meaning of the phrase, "The sunset is infinitely beautiful, but dusk is approaching." Chapter 547. Ning Cheng looked at the distant dawn and stood there for a long time without moving. It seemed as if he had once again fallen into an epiphany. However, Shen Qingyu could feel the coldness growing more and more intense. The surrounding ice-cold air felt like bone-piercing steel needles that continuously pierced into her body. Even with her spiritual consciousness and her celestial essence, she could not completely drive away this ice-cold air. She retracted her gaze from the dawn and saw that she was surrounded by an endless plain. No, it should be an endless ice field. There were no protruding peaks, not even a single blade of grass. Looking at her naked body, Shen Qingyu quickly moved a few feet away from Ning Cheng and took out a tent. Entering it, she quickly took off all the tattered clothes on her body. After casting a dust removal technique on herself, Shen Qingyu felt relieved. Although her hair had turned silver, her skin and appearance had not changed much. Just as Shen Qingyu took out her clothes and was about to put them on, a lightning-like shadow rushed into her tent and quickly took her away. Shen Qingyu did not resist. The moment the shadow took her away, she immediately recognized who this person was. She grabbed the clothes in her hands and calmly looked at Ning Cheng before asking, "Why?" She wasn't an irrational person, but the wanderer in front of her, who had brought her here, didn't say anything. Instead, he grabbed her when she was about to put on her clothes. This made her feel extremely angry and humiliated deep in her heart. Ning Cheng spoke with an equally calm tone, "You will know when you look back." When Shen Qingyu looked back, she found that the tent she had just arranged was nowhere to be seen. The place where she had arranged the tent was now covered in ice crystals, with nothing else. "Ah!" Shen Qingyu screamed in shock, forgetting to put on her clothes. "Put on your clothes first, I'll explain it to you." Ning Cheng glanced at Shen Qingyu and spoke with a calm tone. Shen Qingyu discovered that she was still naked. Although for her, being looked at once was the same as being looked at 100 times. However, taking off her clothes in front of a stranger, even if she was rational, she still could not get over it. No longer caring about the fact that she was in front of this wanderer, Shen Qingyu quickly changed her clothes before giving out a sigh of relief. "Do you know about the time wheel?" Not waiting for Shen Qingyu to speak, Ning Cheng took the initiative to ask. Shen Qingyu put on the mask first. When she felt a trace of coldness on her face, she took in a deep breath and nodded. "I know that within the time wilderness, the time wheel is the most terrifying thing. Once the time wheel appears, if you can't escape from the time wheel in time, you will die 10 times out of 10. Speaking until here, Shen Qingyu seemed to have thought of something and looked at Ning Cheng in shock. "You just said..." Ning Cheng nodded. "Yes, it was the time wheel just now." The time wheels in this place seemed different from other places. They moved in a certain direction and did not spread out. Perhaps it was also because the time wheel in this place was not broken that it did not spread out. Just now, a time wheel passed by the tent where you changed your clothes, and I pulled you out in time. Ning Cheng was too familiar with the time wheel. He had almost died under the broken time wheel in the perpetual moon lake. Fortunately, he had the mysterious yellow bead. "I understand." Shen Qingyu looked at the vast expanse of ice crystal plains and immediately understood why there were no protrusions in this place. Time wheels came and went in this place all year round, and anything that protruded would be swept to the ground by the time wheel. "Thank you." Shen Qingyu gave a grateful bow to Ning Cheng. Although she was not like other female cultivators, who would not react to being seen naked, she still found it hard to get rid of the awkwardness in her heart. Seeing Shen Qinyu still shivering from the cold, Ning Cheng suddenly grabbed Shen Qinyu's hand and spoke, burning the heart with an inch of fire, celestial essence entering the lesser lake. Not waiting for Shen Qinyu to operate her cultivation method, a warm flow of celestial essence appeared within her body. After Ning Cheng put down her hand, Shen Qinyu's celestial essence automatically flowed through the meridians pointed out by Ning Cheng. The bone-chilling cold immediately dissipated, and it no longer felt as terrifying as before. Did you think of this by yourself? Shen Qinyu looked at Ning Cheng in shock. She knew that Ning Cheng did not belong to any sect, nor did he have any inheritance. However, his cold-dispelling cultivation method turned out to be quite powerful. At this moment, she had already forgotten about the awkwardness from before. Ning Cheng showed a smile. I thought about it myself and read about it from other places. But let's talk about it later. There should be some time stones here. Time stones. As Ning Cheng spoke, Shen Qinyu saw a time stone. She had wanted to ask about it, but she had already put it aside. With a flash, she rushed towards the place where the time wheel had just swept past and reached out to grab a dark gray-colored stone the size of a longan. A faint flow of time radiated from the stone. It felt like the vicissitudes of time, but it also felt like an indescribable flow of time. It really is a time stone. Shen Qinyu's eyes flashed with excitement. She had entered the time wilderness for a few years, but this was the first time she had picked up a time stone. So that's how it is. Ning Cheng understood that wherever the time wheel had passed through, there was a high chance of finding a time stone. Time stones and time wheels had a connection. When he was in the perpetual moon lake, he had picked up 3 time stones because the time wheel had broken. If that time wheel had broken, then maybe he would have found more than one time stone. Ning Cheng also knew that apart from him, no one would dare to break the time wheel. Shen Qinyu finally sobered up from her excitement. She put the time stone into a jade box and then handed the jade box to Ning Cheng. This is for you. You saved me and you brought me to this place. Ning Cheng pushed Shen Qinyu's hand back and spoke. Since there is a time stone here, it means that there are others. As long as we look around here, we can definitely find more time stones. From now on, whoever finds it, can keep it. Shen Qinyu did not continue to give the time stone to Ning Cheng. This kind of thing was priceless, and she also longed for it. However, Ning Cheng, this starry skies wanderer, once again gave her a new impression. A celestial scryer cultivator who could refuse a time stone, she felt sure that there was not a second person like him. Not to mention celestial scryer cultivators, even striking order Heavenly Emperor might not be able to refuse a time stone. This kind of thing was just too precious. If it were any other cultivator, they might have already prepared to kill her to silence her. However, this starry skies wanderer in front of her actually refused it without even the slightest bit of greed. Remember, don't stray too far away from me. After Ning Cheng spoke a few words to Shen Qinyu, he took the initiative to enter this seemingly endless ice field. Shen Qinyu nodded. Although her spiritual consciousness only had a range of 1 foot, her eyes could still see Ning Cheng in front of her. Ning Cheng had spoken the truth. In this vast expanse of ice, there was definitely more than one time stone in this place. In just an hour, Shen Qinyu's surprised voice once again arrived. Apparently, she had picked up a second time stone. Shen Qinyu looked at Ning Cheng's back and wondered how many time stones this starry skies wanderer had picked up. She was walking behind him, so logically speaking he should have picked up more than her. Ning Cheng indeed picked up more time stones compared to Shen Qinyu. Generally speaking, the time stones were the size of rice grains and peas, which he simply did not bother to pick up. The ones he picked up were at least the size of a broad bean, while most of them were the size of a longan. Some of them were even bigger than a fist. As for the time stones that Shen Qinyu picked up, Ning Cheng had deliberately let her pick them up. Otherwise, in this place, his spiritual consciousness could sweep through dozens of miles, without missing anything. A month later, Ning Cheng and Shen Qinyu picked up fewer and fewer time stones. However, whether it was Shen Qinyu or Ning Cheng, they both felt very satisfied. Shen Qinyu had picked up more than 20 time stones. She even suspected that the total number of time stones picked up by the cultivators who entered the time wilderness would not be as many as hers. Of course, this wanderer in front of her was an exception. Since she had picked up so many time stones, it would have been strange if this wanderer, walking in front of her, picked up less. Shen Qinyu looked up at Ning Cheng in front of her and immediately froze. Previously, she had been looking down for time stones and only occasionally looked at Ning Cheng to see if he was in her line of sight. However, she did not look at the surrounding scenery. At this moment, she felt shocked to discover that the place in front of her was no longer an ice field, but a forest that looked like a world of ice and snow. Shen Qinyu quickly took a few steps and arrived at Ning Cheng's side. However, before she could speak, she felt a warm sensation around her waist. Ning Cheng's hand had already wrapped around her waist, and she immediately flew up while sticking to the ground. Shen Qinyu instantly understood that this wanderer's spiritual consciousness was far stronger than hers. Although the two of them had picked up many time stones along the way, they had yet to encounter a time wheel. Apparently, it had something to do with this wanderer's spiritual consciousness. A celestial shatter cultivator could use his spiritual consciousness to avoid a time wheel. Just how terrifying was this? From this, it could be seen that this wanderer's understanding of the laws of time was far stronger than her own. What a beautiful world! Shen Qinyu, who was put down by Ning Cheng, could not help but exclaim when she saw the world of ice and snow in front of her. The undulating ice hills looked crystal clear, while some of the ice trees formed various shapes. What the hell is this place? I've read a lot of information about the Sea of Twilight, but I've never seen such a place. Shen Qinyu muttered to herself. Ning Cheng and Shen Qinyu were different. His spiritual consciousness could penetrate into this world of ice and snow. As such, he could feel the desolation and danger of this world of ice and snow. If the place we entered is the Sea of Twilight, then I think this place might be the seabed of the Sea of Twilight. Let's go in and have a look. Maybe there is a way out of this place. Ning Cheng spoke with a deep voice. Even if Ning Cheng had not said anything, Shen Qinyu had already planned to go in and have a look. Ning Cheng took the first step into this icy world, and a terrifying, bone-chilling cold immediately assaulted him. Even Ning Cheng had to fully circulate his celestial essence to barely resist this bone-chilling cold. After several years of tempering and gaining insights in the Sea of Twilight, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness could now reach a range of 100 miles. Yet, he still felt that it was difficult to resist. Shen Qinyu, whose spiritual consciousness could only cover a radius of 1 foot, shivered even more. She could only take a single step before finding it hard to walk. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.